Start her up.
Hey guys,
Hello.
George here.
Hey, GFW trains.
Yeah, we're back again for the stream.
Right.
Yeah, we got some,
Got a great show for you today. We got lots of neat stuff going on, George.
yeah. We got a guest appearance today.
Yeah. Who's
Yeah.
coming on, George?
Ours Trains, Corey from Ours Trains is coming on, so that's gonna be pretty fun.
Yeah.
And, so, gonna have some fun with that, and,
Very good. Ours is a regular around here, isn't he?
yeah, he is.
We dressed up for the occasion, didn't we?
Yeah, that's right.
Oop.
Train
Sounds like
puffer.
something coming off the track back there. Yep. Got my Ours train hat.
I got my, Ours Trains hat as well,
I've got my Ours train pullover.
and I got my, Reds shirt, but just...
We got the merch supporting Ours trains. But no, I had a chance to talk with him yesterday at a great length, George.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited to have him in the house. It's going to be a really nice visit. We're going to be able to call up.
He's got some amazing, his collection, it's just cool just because of all the stories it has, you know?
Right.
Like, that's what makes it special, and I think that's going to be probably the best part of the show today, is just hearing all the stories that he has to share.
Right. No, I know. That's really cool. I think that the stream's running good today. Had some talks with our internet provider and got some stuff working around the house. So hopefully that's going to rock and roll well. I'm looking forward to everything today. I think it's going to be a great show.
Oh, yeah.
So we got a lot of people checking in. Let me just get the stream going over here, George, and I'll get on my computer on the side.
You know, it's funny, too. When we were talking to Corey, I didn't even know that Delaware and Hudson had challengers till he said something, and I was like, whoa, you know? So you learn something new every day, I guess.
I didn't know that either. Well, he's got a treat to share with us about that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that the Delaware and Hudson had challengers either until had a chance to talk with him yesterday. He's got lots of neat nuggets to share, a lot of neat stuff around the house. So looking forward to that. He should be coming in right around the 4 o'clock hour. I don't know if you're here, Ours Trains, but check in, give us a hoot if you're watching the stream. Also, everyone, what I want you to do, not necessarily while we're going, because we want you to stay here and hang out with us for a little bit, but what do we got down in the description below, George?
Well, we got the Discord server, link to the Discord server.
Right.
If you aren't already on it, go check it out. It's real cool. I think we have about 12 people on it currently.
I think it's about 20, George.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I went over there this morning.
Wow.
About 20 people.
Wow.
And the other thing that I put up on the link below before I started the stream today, George, was I put up a link to Ours channel. Corey's
Really?
channel down there.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So I put a link to Corey's channel. So after the stream is over, make sure that you head over there, check his channel out, subscribe to his channel, because he's got some really cool content going on over there. Really neat stuff.
I mind if I switch these two?
What's that? No, go ahead, George. So George is just switching out our water. We've been busy working on the train layout today, so just starting out the stream with some water.
Finish the yard with the wiring parts.
It's always good when you get done with something like that, isn't it, George?
Oh, yeah.
Good feeling of accomplishment.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of accomplishment, George, guess what?
What?
$20 challenge. For those of you who were here yesterday, I threw down a challenge on Fast Friday for George. We have the $20 challenge where I gave George $20 and I challenged him. I get $20, he gets $20, and we have to come up with the best racing engine that we possibly can with $20 between now and next Friday.
Yeah.
So I think I got it, George. I think I got you.
What do you got?
I can't tell you what I got. It's a surprise, but I bought it. Bought it this morning. Hopefully I'm going to get everything in on Thursday. Got to do a little tweaking and, fixing her up to make it a true to form racing engine. But I got a good one, I think. I got a good one, but I got bad news for you, George, or at least bad news for me.
What?
I spent a little bit more than $20 on it.
What?
Yeah, I spent more than $20.
How
Sorry.
much did you spend?
I spent $23.
Okay.
$23.
Okay.
So with that in mind, I know that I kind of broke the rules a little bit, spending a little bit more than $20, but it was something that I just thought, well, maybe I can negotiate with you a little bit more about like prices. So I was looking last night. It's pretty hard to find something for $20, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
So 23 is what it cost me. So what do you say? We bumped that up a little bit for you?
I think so. Yeah.
What do you think's a good price? What do you think you're
$30?
gonna be able? $30?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, $30. $30 challenge.
And see who gets it.
All right, but I'm in. I'm locked and loaded, man. Got my purchase down, $23.
SMT Mainline, welcome to the stream.
Hey,
Why
let's
don't we welcome everybody?
all right, sounds good. Welcome to the stream today, SMT. Good to see you. Hope that you stick around. We've got a special guest with us later on, running trains here. In fact, everybody who's here. Why don't you kick back, relax, grab yourself something to drink, and hang out. Stay at home and run trains with us today. So, all right, I'm gonna back up here. See who's checking in, George. Trains, or actually, let me start up. Ours Trains checked in first. But I think he's getting ready because he ghosted us after that. We got Brian Burns in the house. Let's get a whistle for Burnsy.
Sorry.
Very nice. Wally Wordrick in the house. There we go. That guy's a crackpot. Train Track Productions in the house. Grandpa George Wordrick in the house. Very good. Train Track Productions in the house. Get him a whistle. Train Storm in the house, George. Give him a whistle. He's excited because it's Super Freight Saturday. Whoop whoop!
We got a pretty super freight train out here.
We do.
The longest train we've had so far.
I love it.
Of scale cars, at least.
I love it. Online G's in the house. We've got LJL Rail Yard in the house. Sakura Densha in the house. All right, we got ours here. Very good, very good. Checking in. Nice, gonna be fun. We got our merch out for you today, ours. Otis Tooley in the house. Checking in from West Virginia, saying hello. Good to see you today. Train Track Productions from Chicago, Illinois. We love Chicago, right down the road from us. We're in the burbs. Tim Hines
he was in the thumbnail today.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Tim was
in fact, that was his Berkshire in the thumbnail too.
Yeah, right. Is it that was a true Berkshire, right? That's the 1225. Isn't that one?
765.
765. Oh, and the other cool part about it wasn't the guy who's got the guy who's got the remote control in his hand. Isn't he the engineer of the 765?
Yeah, that's true. And then you have Blake in the back who owns a 7.5 gauge live steam locomotive.
Right. So, hey, thanks for letting us use your likeness today, Tim, on the thumbnail. I thought that would be a fun and appropriate little cameo for you. Good show. All right. Texas Train Masters in the house. Good to see you, Sam. Angel Garcia here. Online G's, just checking out the fact that we got that 4141, huh? Yeah. It's a new addition, our newest addition to the fleet.
That's pretty sweet.
Right on. Everybody, Angel's just realizing that I got myself a matching hat to George's, but
it's not as worn. I don't think you wear that one.
I didn't wear this one very much. It's very nice and clean.
It's nice and white. Yeah.
Trainstorm saying, hope that we're doing well. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday for you too, Trainstorm.
Hope
Thanks
you're doing well as well.
Right. So we were talking about the Challengers, and a lot of people are speaking up, saying that there were many railroads that had Challengers. I need to get some more education on Challengers, I think.
Yeah, me too. For a long time, actually, that's not true. I knew that other railroads had Challengers. I just didn't know how common they were, if that makes sense.
Sure. So Train Track Productions says, did you know that CNW that the CNW were going to get SD80 Max but didn't get him because of the merger?
Yeah, I did know that actually. I found that out a long time ago.
Cool, cool. All right, we got you with the whistle, Sakura. Stephen Cofferl's in the house. George is fixing engines, so I'll give you woo woo. There we go. We'll get everybody, like I said, SMT Mainline's here. Get him a whistle. Otis Tooley's here. Very good, very good. So Otis says you should be at $25 instead of $30, George.
I think 30. I'm gonna stay at 30.
Yeah, George is saying 30 over there. Saying 30. Barn Full of Trains is here, George. Because he doesn't have just a little bit of trains. How many trains does he have? He got a whole barn full of trains. George R. in Connecticut's here. It's great to see everybody. This is really cool to see everybody out for a nice, relaxing Saturday, running some trains. Hopefully I got everything ironed out as far as the internet goes. A little bit more going. We'll see what happens with Corey. I think that we got that ironed out. Like I said, I had a chance to speak with him yesterday. What a remarkable young man. For those of you that don't know Corey, wait till you see his train laid out. Wait till you hear all of the things that he's got to tell you about his little corner of the hobby there where he's at. John 2618 is here, George. Tim says it's not a 765, George. It's a 759, and he wanted something other than the 765.
Oh, yeah, it does sound like Tim, though.
Yep. So, hey, George, did you know, I didn't know this until yesterday. Do you know ours trains has 3 train layouts in his house, George?
Yes.
Yeah, and he said he's got them all 3 running that he wants to show off today.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really cool to hit his house over there.
Yeah.
Angel Garcia, and we'll get back to this in just a second, but I want you to keep this in the back of your head, George. Angel Garcia is asking, what's the difference between a Kanawha and a Berkshire?
Kanawha?
Well, keep that in the back of your head. We're still going through stuff. Got lots of 26 people watching right now, George.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty neat, huh? Steam is King Productions in the house.
Excited for our.
Yeah, I think so. A lot of people coming in to see ours trains. Hanging out for a fun Friday. Steam is King's Productions in the house, George.
Sorry.
The money man over here, George, is fixing some trains, so I'm checking people in. He's over here getting you guys. All right. Otis says, "Hey, did y'all watch the Train World Train Show Friday night with all of the turn for train suppliers that build trains?" You know, I didn't get a chance to watch it yesterday. We had some stuff going on. We had a Zoom meeting with some friends last night. So the good news is, from what I understand, is that they saved those and that you can go back and watch them either. And I can't remember if it's on Facebook Live or if it's on YouTube, but you can go back and watch those. But I read on Facebook this morning that they were really cool, and I'm gonna have to go back and watch those. Anybody check in and were able to catch the online York and see those things on Train World? Grandpa's saying he likes my mint hat, George.
Oh, yeah, mine's well loved. That's for sure.
LJL said, "All right, Challengers, George. Western and Maryland had Challengers as well as the Clinchfield as well."
I knew that. Yeah.
I knew both of those did it. I knew both of those.
Pacific had Challengers too. They're called Z2s, I think.
Yeah. So I'm getting some jazz from Stevens King Productions saying that I hurt your ears. Sorry about that.
Turn the volume down.
What's that? Let's see here. Steam Bricks is here, George.
Chris, what's up, man?
Chris is saying hello. LJ Rail Yard, Tim saying that the Western Maryland had M2 Challengers and the CR Challengers came from the Rio Grande, since the Rio Grande wanted to get rid of the 3 UP style Challengers that they had. So,
I knew that. I knew the Clinchfields were the Rio Grandes.
Cool. Shane's Trains checking in. Say, what's going on, crazy crew?
Nothing much. Just running trains.
Hanging out, running trains. Running trains today. And I think that I'm good. Got caught up. Everybody checked in. Did I get Harry Rollis?
No, did not.
All right, Harry Rollis is here, checking in. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Good show. Stevens King Productions says Union Pacific, we can handle it. We can't handle it. We got any Union Pacific fans in the house? Union Pacific always seems like they don't have as many fans as the other railroads. You ever notice that, George?
That's a lie. That's just the people here, you know.
You think so?
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, I like the Union Pacific. I really don't have like of the trains that are now running, or like all of the major railroads that are running, I don't have like a favorite mainline railroad.
I like how Sam said Norfolk and Southern.
Oh yeah, Sam. It's because Sam taught you, didn't he?
Sam taught me.
I'm joking.
I thought he was going to say the BNSF.
Yeah. So LJL Rail Yard's asking if you like Mr. Rogers' Trolley. You know what, LJL? I'm going to have to check in on that one. I love Mr. Rogers' Trolley.
What's that? I'm just kidding.
Oh, good. Brian says that he sent you over 20 different eBay links.
That is true, yeah.
And apparently Brian doesn't like UP either. So SMT checking in says, this is the 4449 GS4 part of your collection.
Yeah, we have one. We can, I go grab it. We have a couple, actually.
Right. We got a 4449. In fact, that's one of my favorite steam engines, SMT. I love that 4449. It's such a survivor. Got a good story about how it was a static display for years and years, then came back and they restored it during the Freedom Train era, and now it's a running train. One day I'm gonna get out there and ride that, George. Don't you?
Here's ours, or one of them. This is I got for Christmas a couple of years ago. It's an LTI one, right? What?
Trainstorm says that you can't spell stupid without UP. Oh man.
Yeah, that's one we have, and then we have a K-Line one. Well, it's a Train Collectors Association one, but it's still numbered 4449.
Yeah, that's a neat one. I like that one. Yeah. So Shane's Change is asking, George, GFW, you guys have any early challengers?
We do not have any early challengers. That's one I want to get, but I'm pretty sure only UP and Third Rail made them. The Third Rail ones are over like $2,000.
Right. So BNSF is SMT's favorite. He likes the paint scheme. I have to agree with him. That's a neat paint scheme.
Yeah.
Do you have your BNSF out?
I don't have one.
Oh, I thought...
Sam does.
Oh, you've got a Burlington, not a BNSF. That's right. So, all right, here's one since SMT's here. SMT's from Canada, right?
Yes, correct.
What's your favorite Canadian train?
Railroad or?
Canadian railroad, yeah.
I like the CP because they have those heritage units.
Oh, yeah. You know what? BC Rail's a good one, too. I love...
Dude, what am I talking? BC Rail all the way.
Yeah,
dude, I love
BC
their
Rail.
paint jobs, too.
Yep. The Royal Hudson, when I rode the Royal Hudson, was BC Rail, too.
And those funky looking Dash 8s with car bodies. Dude, those things are just, like, weird as heck.
Yeah.
Do you have any foreign locomotives? Yeah, we have the Hogwarts Express.
Yeah, that's right. We got the Hogwarts.
You want to consider that foreign.
So, George, do you know that... So, we had the Hogwarts Express out the other day, and when we were doing a movie, where we had trains out with movies and everything like that. And off the screen over here, George got his finger pinched between the driver and the top, and he screamed bloody murder.
It hurts so bad. Like, I literally thought that it was like, that was a little dramatic, but it hurt like crazy. And that thing earned its spot right back into the box.
Yeah, it also earned us 4 thumbs down. We got 4 thumbs down on that video, George.
Okay.
Oh, gosh. Tim says that he's not too pleased that the UP retired the 3985, George. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, I am too. I think that they're just being... They have the money for it. It's not like they don't, you know? Oh, boy. Hey. One of the cars broke. Gosh, what do you call it? Circus train cars. That's always fun.
So yeah, I really like that story of the 4449. In fact, the other night, George and I spent a couple hours down here working on the train layout, listening to the stories of, or watching YouTube videos on the 4449.
Oh yeah. And we stayed up till probably about 1, just watching just working on the layout.
Right.
Yeah.
So, all right, Ed, this is my question for everybody on the stream that's checking in. So, Canadian railroads have really come on strong in the United States with the CN and the CP. What's everybody's favorite Canadian railroad? including you, SMT. I'm wondering what your favorite Canadian railroad is. What's your favorite Canadian railroad? Check in and let me know what that one is.
Sparky comes on. His is gonna be Conrail.
Well, that's not a Canadian railroad, is
It
it?
went to Canada, yeah. I think.
Boy, it went to Canada, but I'm talking about a Canadian railroad.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. That is a good question.
Do you know why they call it Conrail, George?
Why?
Because they conned everybody out of their money.
The government?
Oh, gosh.
It is kind of true.
Tradestorm's asking if you got a Polar Express, George.
Yeah, we do. We have actually the first gen Polar Express. So the very first Polar Express that came out, we have, which is pretty cool. But
Yeah, now they've got some really cool upgrades on that Polar Express. I bet you that's one of their best sellers. That's why they're always looking out for that Polar Express.
Yeah,
This last generation had
the 10th or the 15th anniversary one. That 20th, right? Wait, no, 15th. Yeah, that one was cool just because. I don't know, just because of the gloss. Like, it had a gloss over it, and I think it was just really cool in general. But my favorite Canadian railroad is a CN. Oh, interesting.
George, do you know what Grandpa said?
What?
That when
What'd he say?
He said that when they pinch your finger, you scream Dumbledore.
No, well, who's Malfoy, right? That's the blonde dude, yeah.
So Otis was saying on the Train World that MTH, Lionel Atlas, and Bachman showed off some nice new releases last night in the 2-hour show. And then he said, P.S. I hope all of you can get Train World to do train shows like that for all of us that can attend. Well, I agree. You know, I've got to take a second and pump the Train Collectors Association. The Train Collectors Association has something called the TCA Net Vision. And when they do, the Train Collectors Association is actually the group that puts on York. The Eastern Division of the Train Collectors Association puts on York. And the Train Collectors Association, they have a YouTube channel called the TCA Net Vision. Look it up. I don't have a link to it here. But the TCA Net Vision, they always have people at the National Toy Train Museum there in Strasbourg. They have the manufacturers, and they give an update on the week of York when the York goes.
It's pretty cool. Their podcast. Oh, yeah.
So LJL Rail Yard says, can you run the Chessie Steam Special with the Reading 2101? LJL, we're not going to run the Chessie Steam Special today. Maybe in another one in the future. So Grandpa says his favorite is the Grand Trunk Western. That's a good one. That's an off-the-wall one. Did you know the Canadian National owned the Grand Trunk Western, George?
I didn't know that.
Yep.
And they were in the swampy land of Michigan.
The swampy land of Michigan. SMT's favorite is the Canadian National. I wonder if SMT's ever seen my shirt. SMT, I have got the best Canadian National shirt ever. Yeah. Every time I wear it, everybody asks me about it. I might have to wear that for another stream. It's always a favorite. But today is Ours Trains Day. Sporting the Ours merchandise today, huh?
Correct.
Can't wait to go over to see his layout. That's going to be a 4 o'clock hour. We're going to head over there.
30 people watching.
Yeah, that's neat. Good day today.
They're all excited for our. Yeah.
I think so. You're going to have to tell everybody about that. You're going to need to take that car off. That one keeps giving you problems all over the layout, George. Tell everybody about your Discord group, George.
So we have I have a Discord server that you started, and it's basically for people. Since sadly, due to my dad having to go to work and stuff like that, the streams are probably not going to happen that much anymore. So
let me clarify that. In the future, hopefully we're going to be able to get out. We're not going to be staying in forever.
Yeah.
And we do our streams daily at 3 p.m.
Yeah.
So at some point, we're probably going to have to shut them down and stop it. But we want to have some type of legacy for everybody that's coming in here and hanging out with our little corner of the hobby.
So the Discord server is basically meant for everybody to continue chatting, even if we're not streaming. And yeah, it's actually been working out, and it's pretty cool actually. A lot of cool conversations involved. So if you're not involved in the Discord server, please go to the link in the description and
sign up.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
I was on there today, George, talking some trash.
I know.
Talking some trash. All you next gens trying to beat old school Papa. I got you, George. I got you.
I still gotta buy an engine.
Well, I'm already halfway there, George.
Whoa.
Yeah. I'm already halfway there. What were you? Did you find anything that even looked good, George?
Oh yeah.
Check out OGR forum.
No, not OGR form. I checked out eBay.
Yeah?
OGR form or OGR form is.
They didn't have very much cheap. They've got good stuff,
but it's all
but not like that bottom end stuff, like the $20 stuff, right?
But even eBay is like crazy expensive. Like I'm not gonna spend $40 on a 040. You know, it's just. I wouldn't even spend $15 on one of those things. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So hey, George, Charlie's Models Train's checking in. Let's give him a whistle. Says sorry I'm late. I was working on my layout. Let's see here. So favorites, LJL likes the Canadian Pacific, and Texas Trainmaster says he likes all Canadian railroads. Lost my place here. Oh, hey, CSXNS train videos checking in, George.
I'm gonna go see if this will work.
Oh, here's another one, George. I forgot about this one. How about Ontario Northland? That's a good one.
Oh yeah.
My dad's got a really neat Ontario Northland engine. George, Otis Tooley's checking in with a railroad that I've never heard. The Northern Southern runs through West Virginia with their engines and the CSX. I think that's a railroad. Is that what you were talking about, Otis? Lego Geeks here.
He's talking about the Norfolk Southern.
Lego Geeks here, George. Let's get him. Or maybe he is talking about the Norfolk and Southern. I bet you that's what he's talking about. At Joe 1972. Welcome everybody. Thanks for coming in the stream. Good to see everybody here. We're running a little bit behind on our stream comments. Everybody's checking in, which is great. Kay's Trains here, George. Good to see you, Ken. Thanks for coming by. So, George.
Yeah.
Got a question for you. So, do you know any Canadian locomotives, since we're talking about Canadian trains, George?
Canadian locomotives?
Yes.
Well, those Dash 8s with the car body.
Tell me about those.
So they're basically Dash 8s. So I think Canadian National wanted a I don't know what the story on it is, but they wanted a Dash 8 or something like that because they had Alpos and stuff like that, and so they went. Oh God, I forget who makes the Dash 8s. General Electric, I think. People correct me if I'm wrong, but they went to General Electric and they asked for these locomotives, and they made special locomotives for them, and they ended up. So basically, they are Dash 8s just with the wide body. So there's no it's hard to explain. It's kind of like. Remember that C30 I showed you?
Yeah.
Santa Fe one? It's kind of like that. Just
Okay.
Like with the triclox cab, too, I think. So, yeah. Interesting.
So Shane's... sorry, George. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, continue.
So Shane's Train says, if you guys stop daily streams, we may protest. Well, thanks for that. There are days when it's easier than others. Today, hopefully, knock on wood, things are rolling good. Yesterday was a bear. I was about ready to stop streaming forever after yesterday's stream. That was crazy. Oh, man. So SMT kind of agrees with you. George was lamenting about that yesterday, saying that he hardly ever buys off of eBay because it's about 5 times what you pay at trade shows.
Oh, yeah, dude, it's awful.
Yeah, and to make matters worse, we've got a couple of hobby stores around here and people that we know that we might be able to go over there and see if we could get a nice cheap score, but they're closed down right now too, so that's tough.
I don't think any of our friends want to sell, good, fast stuff for, $20.
So Charlie's Model Trains, I need some help from our friends on the stream here. Charlie's Model Trains saying he's having a hard time getting on the Discord. So can somebody on the stream give Charlie's Model Trains a hand and shoot him a link or an invite or figure that out? I would really appreciate that.
I'm liking the circus train. I think it's pretty cool with all the cars and stuff like that.
Yep. So LGL says I want a YouTube video about Russian anthems. All right. And this one is kind of interesting. The one that came off came after the Soviet Union actually sounds like, oh, Canada. All right. There is a Canadian tie there, huh? Train Track Productions says my favorite fallen flag from the Norfolk and Southern is the Reading lines. We talk about that a lot, George. Which one did you say is yours?
My favorite. Oh God, no! You can't put me on the spot like this. Penn Central. Everybody's gonna hate me for it, but Penn Central.
Because you saw that one, right?
I've seen that one plenty of times.
Every time I gotta take my hands off the throttle here. Some nice, cool water today, George.
Okay, yeah, I think it's a -8 40C. I think that's what they're called.
Right. Bengals 444T is in the house. George, give him a whistle. Checking in and says he likes Canadian Nationals. And we see Mark, Commuter Railroad, CSX, Amtrak, and I'm running your train checking in. Good stuff. All right. I'm going to quick get through some of this stuff. Thomas Eden here. Thanks for coming by. Give him a whistle, George. Let's see, and Humanity's in the house here. Humanity's here and saying that he likes our Humanity. Did you see my shirt? My hat. I got a matching R's hat. R's Train sent that out to us. He sent us some matching hats, some R's merchandise. I kid. George's baseball team. I'm the coach of the baseball team. Is the Reds, and this is our hat. This is our shirt. But we're wearing it for R's Trains because we're headed over there, right? For those of you just checking in, Corey from R's Trains about the 4 o'clock hour. We're gonna be heading.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to be heading over there and checking out his layout in his basement, seeing some of the stuff. He's actually got 3 layouts in his basement. 3 layouts.
Trace.
Right. Now Humanity is getting on my case.
What do you say?
Right on. Good show.
Why is your hat so clean and George is so dirty? Well, this is like one of the few times he's ever worn that hat.
I wore this hat all the time. Our hats match our mind. That's what.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, buddy.
Hey, Humanity, you're just checking in. Got the $20 challenge going. I bought my train today. George, he's going to be crying again.
Yeah, I am trying to find something.
Yeah, he's trying to find something.
But a lot of you guys have been sending me stuff, eBay links, so I'm going to have to check all those out.
But we boosted the price up, too. It's not... I spent $23 on mine. $23, and I think I spent $15 on shipping. So that was where I'm at, George.
So
$23.
About $30, like $10 was shipping.
Right. So spent a little bit more, but $23 is where the Wally Racer's at.
Hey, it's okay. You're paying for it, so...
Oh, gosh.
Thomas Edison says, "Toot back."
All right. So Angel Garcia says, I might get a new engine or passenger car set. Any suggestions? I do. You got to get those 21-inch... There's 21-inch UP passenger cars, and I don't care the manufacturer. You get either the MTH ones or get the Lionel ones. I think those are beautiful.
Get a water tender for your...
Yeah, that's another good one.
What number is your big boy, Angel? Is it the 4024, like my grandpa's, or is it Yeah.
So Humanity is saying I'm looking forward to the SmackDown. Speaking of Humanity, George, I didn't get a chance to see it. I was busy doing stuff. We were working on the train layout, but Humanity just put up a new, really cool looking video on his channel about how to keep your track clean and what you got to do to keep your track going for your railroad. I got to check that out. I mean, that's the stuff I love on YouTube. The stuff that you can watch. It's like good stuff and apply to like what you're doing. Yeah. Don't you like that?
Yeah, I do like that too. Yes. Yeah.
So we were watching. What was the name of the channel we were watching today, George?
It was CSL 3618, I think.
Right.
And he had a. Okay, Angel. Okay, yeah, I'll answer that after we did this. But Angel, CSL 3618 has a trains series about just like stuff, and we just watched that for like 2 hours before the stream. It was pretty cool. Then we watched a video about the Tigers, but we're here. The
Detroit Tigers, as opposed to like the Tiger King.
Yeah,
everybody's been talking about that one lately.
It was a 1968 Detroit Tigers. So yeah, but
So Shane's Trains is asking, and this is good. I like this. This is a serious, or it's not a serious question, but it's a good topic to talk about. He's asking, asking everybody actually on the stream, but we'll start with you and me, George. But asking, do you talk about trains with your friends, or is it something that you generally hide, George?
so I'm pretty open about it. I mean, like I'm not like weird where I'm like, applying everything to trains, but I'm like jokeful about it. And somebody asks me about it, I'll talk about it. It's not like, I won't, talk to them about it.
But you've been talking about trains with your friends.
Oh
your whole
yeah,
life,
all the time,
right?
yeah.
What about at school? Do they know about your train thing?
Yeah, most of them do. I mean, most of them know about like the YouTube channel and stuff like that. I can't really hide that. So, just kind of some people learn through the YouTube channel. Just some people learn from just knowing me and stuff like that. But it's not something I really talk about too much unless somebody asks or I'm just being jokeful and I make a joke about it. Like, yeah, and I mean, I used to get teased a lot for it, but I don't know.
I think after a while, I was the same way. I think that your skin just gets stick to it, right?
I don't care anymore, honestly. Like, I could literally care less about those kids. So, yeah, and then like all my friends are pretty cool about it too. So it's, I don't need to worry about that. But yeah, so that's I'm pretty open about it. But
So Charlie's Model Train says that he's pretty open about it, not much. And I like growing up, I was pretty open about it too. I'd always talk with my friends. I was more of a toy train guy when I was growing up, though. I wasn't so much. Well, that's not true. I did where I lived in Bartlett. We lived really close to the train tracks, so I wouldn't necessarily say I was a foamer as opposed to like a railroad rat, like somebody that always hung out by the train tracks.
yeah.
Man, if those, I look back and I chuckle because of some of the things that we used to do on the.
When you put like buckets on the train tracks and just wait for the.
We did. We put a lot of crazy stuff on the train tracks, George, just to see what would happen with the trains. And
what if you put something on there and there was like a huge crash? Like,
oh my gosh.
Like Uncle Bob burnt down the kitchen.
We didn't. Two totally different stories. We weren't hoodlums enough where we were going to put something on the track that was going to make a train tip over.
Yeah.
I mean, we would just put like stuff that we would want to see. What would we put? A lot of pennies on there.
Yeah.
We put a lot of rocks on there. But just things to see what would happen when the train would roll over. And yeah. Grandpa says that he's never hidden his.
Oh yeah.
And Brian says, I've been teased a lot about my love of trains, a load. Yeah, and you know what? It is what it is. Unfortunately, but I also think that it's best if you just kind of wear it on your sleeve, in my opinion.
Yeah, when I used to get teased about it, I was like really small. And then I think about when I was 13 years old, I started to grow. And I got bigger than all those kids, so yeah.
Although, George, you still are a little bit shy about your Thomas.
All
right. Dad, shut up, Dad. I have there is on GFW Trains a whole library of Thomas videos. That's how George started GFW Trains.
Private forever.
George started GFW Trains as making Thomas videos, and he took them all down. So there is probably about a dozen. One day, the hidden GFW Trains videos are going to come out. And you'll see all of the early Thomas train videos that George made on GFW Trains.
Well, yeah, because originally I wanted to be part of this like club. I think it was like the TWR community or whatever. And they said I couldn't have unless I had 75 subscribers. So I worked really hard.
So what is the TWR community?
I think it's like Thomas Wooden Railway.
Okay.
And yeah, so basically I worked really hard, and by the time I got to 75 subscribers, I was kind of like over that phase. So I was just making videos about trains, not specifically Thomas. And yeah, I think there's only one Thomas video that we have on the channel that wasn't from like the OG GFW Trains, and that was the one at World's Greatest Hobby. And he had to get me to do a lot of. Yeah, I was not very happy about that one, but I mean it worked out. It was a pretty popular video, so.
Right, right. So Texas Trainmaster Sam says he's very open about his hobby of trains because it's such a great hobby. I agree with that one. Otis asking if we ever. SMT says he's not super open about it because I just don't like dealing with the nonsense, but I don't hide it either.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of where George is at too.
Yeah, and like a lot of my friends too, like if like somebody teases me about that, and like because I normally hang out with my friends, I don't go anywhere like alone. You know, I always have to be with somebody. I don't know just why. I just feel like the need to be with somebody else, and yeah, normally a lot of my friends are just like have my back. If that makes sense. If somebody does bring it up, they'll just be like, you know, hey, what the heck, you know. So it's not like I'm like I have like a good group of friends to hang around with too. Just
Right.
going through baseball and stuff like that. But yeah.
Right, right. So yeah, SMT says if people find out it's not like some big secret, I guess that's kind of like where you're at on that
Yeah.
too, right?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people know through the YouTube channel. Like, a lot of people in my school know that I have a YouTube channel and stuff like that. So it's not, like, a big deal. I mean, I bet you there are people from the school right now, you know, watching this.
Oh, you think so? Cool.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That's very cool. Oh, hey, guess who's here, George?
Who?
Bill Bailey's in the house. Let's give him a whistle. Yeah, that's a good one. All right. I'm way behind on the comments here, George.
Yeah, dude. They're
Let's
just
see
coming in. We have
here.
33 people. Oh.
LJL Railyard says, rest in peace, engineer Harry Hall.
Humanity Junction says, you like trains.
Yeah,
Ha ha ha.
Yeah. So Angel says you guys are at an age where it's tough to be open about it with friends. As you get older people become more mature, and you can open up about your hobby. That's true too. I guess I'm over that hump where it's just another hobby like people have, like cars, trains, planes, everything like that. Thomas Eden says I've always been open about it. Generally, people seem to be fascinated when they see it. Their opinion turns to positive. Isn't that true too with you, kind of, George? Or
Yeah, kind of. A lot of people immediately think of, like, Thomas when they think of me. But, like, I'm not, like, you know, that. I honestly, I used to be really, like, nerdy about that kind of stuff, and I don't know. I kind of forgot it all now. I know a lot of it, but still, it's kind of, like, blank, if you know what I mean.
Right.
But, yeah. So, I mean, it's not, like, I really don't. I mean, if they do bring it up, it's just
Right.
like,
SMT's checking in on that, saying that there's a lot of social judgment at your age. But on the flip side, George got recognized one time when we was down in Florida.
Yeah, I was in Disney. I think he was like 6 years old. And he came up to me and asked me about GFW trains, and I was like, yes. And then he just ran away. He asked me about GFW trains. He said yes, and then he just like turned away and ran into the crowd. So yeah.
Humanity says, I heard you mention that you've had female friends in the basement. If you mean a sister. Have you had girls down here? Oh, dang. I missed that one, Humanity. Look, George
Where are you finding this out?
George,
Did, like, mom say something?
Oh my gosh. His face is turning as red as his shirt, Humanity.
Anyways, let's talk about trains, okay?
let's do it. So Train Track Production says, hey George, have you got any CNW equipment? We got to bust out with that SD70. Is it an SD70?
No, it's a -9.
We got to bust out with that CNW-9, George, huh?
Yeah, it's similar to or it's the same tooling as the SD80.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So that's a really, really cool one there. John2618 says, I think that is what took him away from the hobby when he grew up about 10 years ago about the... Yep. Let's see here. Grandpa's saying that there's a video of a stalled train because somebody greased the track. Really, it was quite of a pain standing the rails. You should watch it. All right.
George, have you been to any museums besides Green Bay and IRM? I have been to a ton of museums. I've been to a TVRM. We did a video on that. I got to ride in the cab of 630. Yeah, I've been to a bunch of other museums too. I just can't think of
Steamtown?
them. Oh yeah, I've been to Steamtown. That's true. There's a lot of smaller ones I've been to too, but I just don't remember the name.
Oh gosh, Grandpa, what was the one in Kentucky we went to? That one was fun.
I went to the Indiana ITM, Indiana Transportation Museum.
We went to the Kentucky Railroad Museum. Wasn't that the one where we rode on the Leviathan?
Oh yeah, that's true. I forget the name of that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been to a lot of them. Oh yeah, I've been to the one in St. Louis too with the big boy. That was the first big boy I ever saw.
Oh yeah, that one's a really good one. That one in St. Louis. Kay's Train says that the co-workers at work know about his interest in trains as a BNSF line.
Oh, he was like, though the female friend's comment was to SMT. Yeah. Whoa.
So co-workers know about Kay's Trains. The BNSF line goes right through our parking lot. I get caught watching out the window behind my desk about 2 times a week. Apparently, I was censored by the C&O Railroad with that comment. Shane's Train says, I've never found out. Okay, yeah, about going on the track. Otis Tooley says, yeah, the train cop showed up at my grandmother's house when they stopped betraying with the grease for the mile on the train. They had that 4% grade. Humanity, okay. John 2618 says, attaboy, George.
Does George have a girlfriend? No, I don't have a girlfriend.
He's a free agent right over there, George is. Yeah. Oh man, all right. I gotta get down here. Sorry guys, if I'm skipping over your comments. Otis Tooley says, "You're George. If you had a girlfriend, you would share your hobby glitter." There you go. King Fox Junction here. King Fox, thanks for coming. Grab yourself a drink, kick back, relax, enjoy the Saturday running trains, talking trains. And we're going to be going over to Ours Trains House really shortly. You're less than 15 minutes now.
Wow.
Kentucky Rail fan. Okay, yeah, Rail Museum. Kentucky, we spent Easter there last year. Yep. I think we're all caught up. Sweet. LGL Rail Yard says, all right, question for you. CNR 6060 or CPR 2860? Not sure there.
I guess he's not going to read my comment at Angel. Oh, well, why don't you retype it, humanity? Maybe we can read it. Did you get that Pacific AC9 fixed yet? Not yet. Probably not going to happen for another couple
I don't
months.
think that we're going to get that one fixed. We tried art with our stuff that we know here, but I couldn't fix it knowing what I know. I even looked online on stuff. In fact, we've got an issue with one of our
Aces too.
Our SD70s. The volume on it's really low, and we can't figure out why. So
I think we found an OGR form that will fix that. I don't know. I don't want to open it up because whenever that happens.
Right.
Well, let me just go get a quick example on what happens when we try to fix, or when I try to fix something.
George, you're getting some advice here from some older guys, the guys my generation, saying that you should stick with trains. They're much cheaper than girls. I agree with that. one.
So this is what happens when I tried to fix something. I melted the so the soldering iron that we have wouldn't. I don't know. The solder wouldn't stick to it, and I melted the clicker part to this, and now it won't work. So yeah.
Good. So Train Track Productions says George will throw us a stream every day. Well, we're trying on that. I tell you, yesterday I was about ready to throw in the towel. We had a rough day yesterday with the stream. Internet wasn't working real well, and I'd literally spent 2.5 hours before the stream trying to get stuff ready for the day and yesterday, and then everything just came off the tracks. And one of my favorite days of having the stream, I'm going to wait until the train passes through.
Sorry, it's just gotta go past the crossing, you know? It's like the train in Yorkville. Okay, it's back.
Okay. Alright, not censored by the CNO anymore. So, Fast Friday is one of my favorites.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. And the CNO, man, they must not like you.
Oh, right. I'm getting censored by the CNO. Humanity says, I said that George cannot have a girlfriend because it would require him to talk to a girl first. Ooh, I like that. Zing! Yeah, George is speechless.
Dude, I let the ladies come talk to me.
Oh my gosh.
It's worked out.
Oh my gosh. I tell you, one day it won't, man.
Yeah, and then I'll just go talk to them.
LGL Railroad says Canadian National 6060 is a mountain type steam locomotive built in 1944 Montreal Locomotive Works. and today is now located at the Alberta Prairie Railway. Grandpa says, no guys, the secret is when you meet the right lady, you impress them by how much fun a pulling car trip is on a long train ride. Much nicer than an airplane. That's true. Grandpa does that all the time with Grandma. Keeps her on the... And LGL Rail Yard says, Harry Holm, the engineer, Canadian national, 66 years, died at age 86 in Jasper. Well, that's a sad one. John says, is that the one you were laughing at? That the whistle sounds healthy?
No. Tim. LOL.
So Train Track...
George. Yeah, that's right.
So Train Track Production says, George, has there been ever a misaligned switch and a crash?
Oh yeah, dude. We've had trains fall off the table. Actually,
we've had about 7 on ours today.
So this one's fallen off the table, and the front part of the front pilot came off.
Oh, he busted that one up yesterday.
Yeah, that one fell off the table, and then what?
Shane's Trains. This is George. I mean, come over here, George. This is what George's pickup line is gonna be when he meets a girl.
Hey baby, you like trains? Yeah, that's right.
Hey baby, you like trains?
Where did I racing engine go?
Oh gosh. So John 2618 says, my wife thought she was marrying a fancy pilot, but she got mono trains instead. That's true. I was my very first date that I ever had with my wife. Before she was my wife, when she was my girlfriend, I took her on an airplane ride and got her hooked in that way. It's been all downhill for the poor lady ever since.
Anyways.
Hey, fingers, George, fingers.
So this one's fallen off the table probably more than any other engine on the layout. I remember also one time this engine rolls, right? And I had the lift bridge up, and I didn't realize that. And I had it going full speed on the straightaway here. And you know how like when you're looking at it and you go like that, like when it goes by? Well, I saw that the lift bridge was up, and I turned off the ZW and went right off the table.
For those of you that are new to our channel, I'll change the camera view here real quick. Our layout is a circle layout that goes around the outside of our basement, and we're just building it. It's relatively, well, it's not new. It's just new with it getting the layouts or the things going up. And over here on this side, we've got 2 drawbridges. One right here, and then one over here. Why don't you lift that one up really quick, George, while there's no trains.
So it was up like this, right?
Yeah.
Where that one was. And the engine went right off the table and onto the carpet.
Boom.
Luckily, that engine is like indestructible and nothing happened to it. The only thing happened to it was the cab got bent up a little bit, but I mean this thing's just like a pop can where you can just like bend it back.
Like
so
a pop can.
Or not a pop can, but a tin can where you can just bend it back and it's good as new, you know. But we gotta find a new screw for it.
All right, George, we got 2 new viewers checking in, saying hello. We got 32 on the stream here.
By the C&O.
We've got to get Jerry Satterley's here. Good to see you, Jerry. Ooh, Jerry, long-time watcher, and Hardcore MOH is here. Hardcore, how's retirement treating you today? Oh gosh.
Censored by the C&O.
All right, George. LJL's asking, do you like railroad subdivisions or divisions? I don't even know what the difference is. I know that Grandpa is probably like, oh my God, I can't believe my son doesn't know what the difference is between divisions and subdivisions. I have no idea what it is. Humanity says, I'm just hoping that my partner doesn't find out just how expensive it is. Yeah. Isn't that the truth? It was a while before my wife knew. Humanity says, no remote control iCam today. Well, I got it going, but I'm if I can avoid doing it, I'm going to avoid doing it. That was one of one of my heartaches yesterday. Just did not work it out. John 2618 says, humanity, hit me up, I'll teach. All right, sorry guys. Hardcore says, today the internet's okay. Well, let me tell you, there was a lot of behind the scenes stuff going on with that yesterday.
The internet provider got a real long call.
And I did some deep dive into our the way that we've got the wireless around the house, and hopefully I got some stuff ironed out. But the downside is I love doing these streams, but the downside of the stream is they take a lot longer than you think to prepare for and get out and get ready for. I'm sure SMT will back me up on that if he's on here. Anybody else that does streams, it takes a long time, and even when you try and get everything ironed out just right, that yeah. John 2618 says I almost had a meltdown yesterday. It's true. It's true. I needed to have some nice strong iced tea when I was done, the sweet kind.
Arnold Palmer.
Need to have some of that sweet tea.
Arnold Palmer with some extra sugar.
So Train Track Production has a good line for you here, George. It says, "Hey baby, there's something
No.
amazing."
The way you say "hey baby" is
Hey, baby.
weird.
Come to my house. I got something amazing. She comes to the George and she says, she comes to the house, sees the basement. Oh my God, is that a cab forward?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Oh, LJL says his favorite song is Baby Shark and was wondering what your favorite song is, George. That's a good question. What is that?
Wait, least favorite?
You know, your
Wait,
favorite
no,
song.
Least favorite.
Oh, your least favorite song. I don't know what.
Friday by Rebecca Black.
Friday. I always used to play that for him on Friday and he still hates it.
And no, at school, like when you dropped us off to school, we blast the song, and yeah, me and my sister got out of the car.
Oh gosh. Hey, Central Intelligence Police Agency Officer Law saying, "What's up, guys? New to the stream, give him a whistle." Yeah, that's a good one. So I guess CIPA. CNO likes the CIPA.
Yeah.
So Jerry says, "Hi, George. Hi, Wally. Everyone, I'm trackside and the connection isn't so good." Well, you know what? We appreciate you being trackside and joining us today. We got a treat coming up here in a few minutes. We're going to go over to Corey's house, Ours Trains. Check out his layout. SMT says, "Yeah, it can never be flawless. Internet supply issues, batteries, yeah, it's always." And yesterday was just oh my gosh, I was about ready to have a meltdown.
Yeah, I was kind of scared.
John 2618 says he's got a shirt. His wife gave him a shirt that says "Still plays with trains."
I've seen those shirts around. Those are, yeah. I want to get one for my dad or grandpa too.
Yep. And Humanity says I would wear that shirt, as would I.
Yeah, I would wear that too. Y'all ignoring me? No, just retype it, Texas Train Master. We can't really read everybody's comments. I mean,
The top comment, Sam, I apologize. His comments are coming in fast. So rather than saying we won't read your comments, if you could just type it in again, that would be great.
yeah,
Appreciate
that goes
that,
for
alright?
everybody in the stream too, please.
Yeah. Let's see. Shane Strains says the trains are a ploy. They keep the other kids busy while George is under the layout, smooching with the girl. I like it. I like it. Oh, hey, we got another person with George is like, oh my God. But all right, changing this direction. Your King Fox Junction says, "Can I have a whistle? He's in the house. Get him a whistle." Very good, very good. All right, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to read the comments that we've got on the stream here a little bit, and then I'm going to start getting ready for getting Angel on the horn over here. I'm sorry, not Angel. Getting Corey Ours Trains on the line here. SMT says his least favorite is any song by One Direction. LGL's asking, what's your favorite train movie, George? Mine's Silver Streak. I love Silver Streak.
Unstoppable, man.
Unstoppables for George. That's always like a favorite of all of the train people. They love Unstoppable.
I mean, it's so like unrealistic, but at the same time, like cool, you know. So it's Denzel Washington, man.
Train Track Production says, "Hey George, have you built any real or custom route on trains? If so, what is it?"
I haven't played trains actually the last time I played trains was probably about 5 years ago, and so I just played on the routes that were provided. I never really built anything, so no. But last time I played Trains 2006, which is my favorite to like edit with and stuff like that, I was too little to even like know any real routes, if that makes sense. So, yeah.
All right. So Bill Bailey says One Direction is the worst group to sing ever. Yeah. SMT Mainline says Runaway Train is pretty good too. It's more realistic, I guess. Runaway Train, is that the one?
That's the one where they steal a train. It's like a prison break and they
yeah.
steal a train.
Yeah. That's a kind of a weird one. It's kind of dark, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, the consist's cool.
Yeah.
SMT's got a cool. He
Oh,
recreated it.
oh, LJL came up with a great one. That's my favorite one. I'm taking
Oh
back
yeah,
Silver
yeah,
Street.
yeah,
The Great
yeah.
Locomotive Chase is my favorite
Well,
one.
Unstoppable's still my favorite, but yeah.
In fact, LJL, I've got a really cool video in the can that I haven't been able to help produce any of George's videos, but I've got a really cool video in the can of when George went out to see the General. We were in a big shanty.
Yeah, man.
Kennesaw, Georgia, and we saw the General.
You get some nice quality high.
Back when
high
George
voice.
had a high pitched voice.
Yeah.
But
Hey,
for those of you that
guys.
don't know, the Great Locomotive Chase is a great, cool, probably my favorite train story. It's about when some spies from the North during the Civil War went down to the South and stole a train. And the train was called the General, if you've never heard of it. And they drove that train trying to cut the railroad between Chattanooga and Atlanta, I think is where they were at. And neat story. And the spies that went on that raid were the first people in the United States to win the Congressional Medal of Honor.
Yeah, that's a cool movie.
Right, and then that's what the movie The Great Locomotive Chase is about. It's really good.
I play Train Sim World 2020. Oh, I heard those are real good. Those Train Sim Worlds. Actually, I have that. That one for the PS4. It's so hard to play on the PS4, but it's pretty cool. My only issue with Lionel is that the trains don't look real going around the curves. The radius are too tight to look realistic for me. Well, that's why you use wider radius. I think the widest radius we're gonna use is 096, up here on the top level. But this level is 072, and then this level over here is 080. So I mean, you just gotta use wider radius turns, and then they look fine. And one thing that was mentioned another stream is that the front part of the engine was attached to the truck, and that's not realistic. So yeah, I've never really.
All right, everybody. I haven't switched to you yet. Oh, I love it, Corey. Haven't switched to you yet. So hold on before you start by showing off your wear. It's good stuff. I just called up. It's just on the live stream. We just got us on here because I wanted to make sure that I got you through. But good news, everybody. George and I are decked out in our Ars train wear, and I just called up on the phone my man Corey. Wait till you see what this guy's decked out in. Hold on.
I got everything going right now.
Yeah, look at that, Corey. I'm gonna make you big here on the screen.
Alrighty. Hello,
And
this is fun. It's hard to even think of what to say right now. Oh, I can almost do my intro. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to GFW Trains. My name's Corey. You got Wally. Welcome to this great little live stream. We're gonna have a good time.
yeah. Well, hey, thanks for coming on the stream and being with us and hanging out today.
Hey, no problem. It's really fun. And before I even get rolling off, I want to thank you guys so much for even just doing these. And I'm speaking for everybody here for even doing these streams because it's brought us all so much closer together, and it's gotten you guys like so much more support. It feels like we're making, I guess, a great little community or something. So it's just so hard to say. But if you guys never commented on my video 2 weeks ago, I wouldn't even be here. So I really want to thank you guys because you guys have given me like so much support for my stuff. I've made so many new friends, and I just can't. I don't know what to say, but really, thank you guys so much, and it's a pleasure to even be on right now. So,
Thanks, Corey. Actually, we were so pleased as punch to have you on. We were a big fan of your videos, big fan of your channel.
Hey, thank you very much.
So, speaking of your channel, why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Alrighty, so I guess I'll kind of introduce myself. For those who don't really know me, my name is Corey Ward, aka RS Trains, and I share the same passion really as you guys. I film everything trains, like real life model trains, live steam, and so much other stuff. But yeah, it's kind of been a long story. I've been around with the hobby for a long time, and it's such a fun thing to do, to create videos and see everyone reacting and kind of building a whole, I guess, community for everything going on. But yeah. So I'm in upstate New York, so I do train videos around here when I go out rail fanning. I do model train videos on my O-gauge layout, which we'll be seeing shortly. I do HO, I do live steam, like I said. I belong to a live steam club, so that's really cool. And then
Hey.
I will do other bunch of cool stuff, but yeah, we'll get to that later. So.
All right, hold on a second here. I think we might be having some problem with the audio here. Let me get a check-in from everybody. How's the audio doing right now on here?
Doing good, we doing bad.
It's fine. It's fine now, I think.
Everybody, how's the audio doing right now on here? All right, Corey, what can you say something for me?
Alrighty, test 1, 2, 3. Let's hope this live stream goes good. Knock on wood, everything.
All right, Corey, what can you say something for me?
Alrighty.
All right, I think we got you. Good stuff. Well, just in case somebody didn't hear the what you were talking about before, why don't you give us a refresh on what your channel there?
So I guess a reboot. My name is Ford, aka Ars Trains, and like you guys, I do so many things like train related. I love filming real life trains, model trains, live steam, and so much other stuff. I got some cool stuff planned, but yeah, we really share the same part of the hobby. Like, you know, always filming trains, always really trying to get everything of the hobby. So I think it's a lot of fun to always film that, because my two favorite things like is train and like TV/film production. So putting that together is like making the ultimate joy, I guess, or passion or something like that. So that's really what Ars Trains is about, filming everything train related, kind of upstate New York around there. So.
Very cool, very cool. Well, I like your merchandise. Did you see George and I got decked out in our Ars Train stuff?
Yeah.
You guys and your stuff too are all over the place.
Well, you have to tell me where you got that stuff made. That stuff looks great.
So here's how it works. So when I go to train shows and stuff, I always have a hate saying, oh, I have a YouTube channel, it's called this. Or when I went to Strasbourg to see 611, a few people came up to me like, wait, you look familiar. So my parents decided for a Christmas gift to put my YouTube logo on some custom merch stuff. So people walk around and be like, oh, wait, that's the kid. So I really want to thank them for that, and so much other stuff they've done. Like, they've really, like, this, I didn't build this with my bare hands. I didn't build my layout. It's really been all their work and me just kind of guiding them and be like, or being like the architect or something. But I really want to thank them for all they've done and really how much they've helped me through this. So.
Very cool, very cool. Well, backing up, Corey, I gotta, I didn't, well, actually, you showed me yesterday, but I had no idea you had 3 train layouts in that basement.
Oh, yeah, I do. Wait, but before we get to that, I want to show off the basement, kind of, if you guys are okay with that. Like,
yeah, please, give us a tour. Give us a tour.
So, let's flip the camera around. So, first starting off, we have the HO layout. Stuck on the tripod here. Now, this is very new. Just built this probably about a month ago. And you can see, it's going to be very tiny. But there's so many other, like, I don't really, the layouts I could kind of care less for, but the cool objects like this, for the people who've watched my YouTube channel now, people know that, like, you know, I did my Lionel Train videos, and that, like, this is, well, let me just get to it. This is the hobby store sign that my grandfather, like, he used to shop all the time, and this is where he got all of his Lionel Trains from. So the history behind this is that we went to the store a few months ago, and they had this outside the, like, you know, outside kind of on the porch of their shop, leaning against it. And we're like, oh, that's so cool. That's no sign. So we went inside, and they were actually like, oh, well, we're getting a new sign and stuff. So like, oh, well, can we have it? And like, yeah, sure, you can have it for free. So we're going to plan to eventually put a light up on it. That'll be nice. Then I guess if we walk around, we have more train-related stuff. Then over here, this is what we'd like to call the service wall. Now this is for all of my family who served in the armed forces. As you can see, that's my grandfather up there. We have his badges and his other stuff. Then we have my grandmother over here. We have that's her service photo with all of the other nurses. And over here, that's his service photo. Then we have more of my family who is in. That's my cousin Brian right there. That's my grandfather. Then we have my great-grandfather. But then moving on, we have even more stuff. We have a signal lit, or not signal lit, a switch lit radio. That's not the computer I have on. That thing is slow. We got even more train stuff. Oh, good, the camera's focusing. lanterns, all that stuff. We got robots. Then over here, this is the familiar part where everybody sees in my videos. We have the classic RXR sign. We have the stop on red signal. And I got so many, I guess, little goodies that all have stories behind it. Like we have the railroad thing. We have all the D&H papers. We have the 611 boxcar. We got the Strasbourg stuff. I even have down there my Rako crossing bell. Over here we got the all the Lionel trains. So these are mostly all my grandfather's. There's about one or two in here that aren't his, but those are, I guess, pushed aside. But yeah, we have all the super cool ones. I guess we'll start off at the bottom and work our way to the top.
Oh
So
yeah, you've got a lot of neat trains there. Hey, while we're rolling on this, just not to cut you off, but one of our regulars here, LJL, you know LJL Rail Yard, he wanted me to ask you whether you're a steam guy or a diesel guy.
See, I always go to steam over diesel any time of the day. So that's what I'd say for that question.
And then another thing too, not to cut you off, but you're talking about your family there a little bit, and Humanity Junction wanted to ask if your parents are into trains as well. He says it sounds like you've a train family.
Well, no, I'm really the only family member who's into trains. I kind of just drag them in, but it's it's kind of a fun family bonding thing. Always working on layouts or building stuff, and it's just such a great way to kind of learn off of each other's talents and all that stuff. So no, I'm the only person who likes trains in my family. I don't believe any of my other relatives even have a passion for the hobby like I do. My grandfather did, but then we were the only two in the family, so that's why really everything here is mostly train related, because people have realized, I guess, oh well, he's really the only one who likes trains. I guess we'll kind of, or oh well, he'd like this, but yeah. Anyways, I'll get to the trains. That's what people want to see, so I guess I'll kind of explain what I got.
Yeah,
So
please. I see a couple of trains on your shelf there that I've always wanted.
Yep. If we're starting off with the GG1 Wally, I know that's your favorite.
Yeah, I'm a GG1 guy.
We got the Rail King Pennsylvania passenger cars behind that. Those are very nice.
I have those. Yeah, they're real nice. I like those a lot.
Behind that, we have the Burlington Northern U26Bs. Those were my grandfather's, and so was the GG1, not the cars. We have a New York Central RS3. That's one of my much faster ones, but it's not my fastest. We have my Lionel kind of modern era FTAA set, the FTAA layout, so we'll get to that shortly. Next up, we have my favorite locomotive, my D&H RS3. So this is the same one as yours. Do you know what years yours came out?
I want to say 93. I don't remember right off the top of my head, but maybe it was later than that. Maybe it was maybe it was a little bit later than that, Corey. I'll find that out for you, and I'll let you know.
Then we have the D&H boxcars. That one's a Chris Craft boxcar, so that one's much harder to...
yeah.
We have the regular Lionel boxcar. We have a big Boston, Maine boxcar, since Lionel did business with them. We have the coal hopper car. We got the piggyback, and then the light-up caboose, which is pretty fun. Now, these two, George, remember a few days ago I talked to you about the lost Lionel locomotive I found? This is it.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
I'm going to do a video on that for everyone.
Corey, that looks like that could be a $20 racer there.
Hey, maybe it could. Let's hope.
All right, keep talking.
We have a little Lionel van. Now, here's probably one of my favorites is the 2353 Lionel Santa Fe set. Now,
that's a beauty, Corey. That is truly a beauty. You have to tell us the story about you purchasing that one.
Yep, I'll get to that in just a sec, but as you notice, the powered unit isn't really there.
Yeah, you're missing something, Corey. I mean, I'm not an expert on trains, not like George here is. But yeah. I think that there might be something on there that's missing.
Yeah, I sent him to the shop because the inside of him started to wear down. Now, everybody, this is a reminder to always make sure to grease and lube your trains, because I forgot to on this guy. His parts just started making the worst sounds. But anyways, I'll tell you guys how I got this. Now, this guy has an interesting history. Now, on when you look through old Lionel catalogs, post-war mostly, you always kind of fall in love with the way they do the art, but I got the Santa Fe fever, some say.
Yeah.
I gotta get me a pair of Santa Fe's. So I was originally aiming to get a 2343 set, but I couldn't find it because I mostly buy off of eBay. Unlike if SMT's still there, I know he does not mostly buy off of eBay, but I mostly just buy off of eBay because it's really quick and handy. And my hobby shop kind of sells things for a pretty penny, so it's hard to get that. But I was slowly accumulating this set off of eBay. So I got the powered unit first, then after that I got the dome car. Then after that, I got the baggage car, and then I got all the other cars, and the last thing I needed was a dummy. And I tell you, the dummy was probably the hardest thing to find. Like, it felt like Indiana Jones trying to find a...
Oh, no kidding.
It was so hard to find that because the battery will always be corroded, it'll always be missing paint, or some piece isn't working, or it's just not working in general. So to find one working, that's the thing. And then I got the complete set, and then you got the sign right there. That's the 353 sign that helps play off of that. Then up we have my 8600 New York Central Hudson. I love that guy. He's a great worker.
Oh, yeah, that's a beautiful one.
1966. That's such a great... It's a great little locomotive. I love its colors. I love the patriotic theme of it. Then up here we have, I guess, like, I call it the custom Pennsylvania Flyer. I know if Brian Burns is there, he's probably going crazy right now. But now, George, I know you talking about the Toy Train Museum in Pennsylvania. These three box cars are right there. They're from the 80s, I believe. They were a very special TCA set of the Toy Train Museum in Strasbourg, so that was a really cool thing. Then we have 080 Pennsylvania right there. Have up there the General. I know you guys were just talking about that a little while ago.
Yeah. That's a cool set.
Cars. I have some Pennsylvania work train cars, and then I got the beautiful, beautiful Buds up there, the Baltimore and Ohio.
Yeah, those are nice ones. And then that one right there, that bicentennial set is one that I always wanted growing up. That's a really cool set.
I do agree with you there. Then we'll move on. Now over here, actually, one of the fun parts is the bathroom. This is all ship themed. So this is a real...
wow.
Ring. This is a real life ring from a tugboat that actually sunk. So that's really cool. We have all the old ships and stuff here, so you can see.
So I just noticed something there, Corey. I have got the exact same model as one of the boats that you have in your bathroom there. Yep.
Well, hey.
That's neat. Now, do you like boats too? I know that you said you like a lot of the history stuff and everything like that.
I love my ocean liners, so I could name so many off the top of my head.
Yeah. Tell me your favorite.
My favorite is probably the RMS Queen Mary or the RMS Titanic. Everybody knows Titanic, of course, but those two are probably some of my favorites. I could go on and on why, but I'll spare everyone now.
Oh no, that's cool. I've been on the Queen Mary. That's a cool ship.
I know, right? I just love it so much. Now, this is really interesting. All these license plates are from my family. Like, they're not just random license plates. So, like, this would be, some up here, my grandfather's, my mom's, my dad's, my uncles, and all that stuff. So I guess I call it the license plate thing. Or then, like, some from friends and stuff. But this is the car wall, which is really cool. Now these are all 1/18 die-cast cars. I used to collect them a little while ago, but as you can see, I just love them for the look. I'm not really a car guy myself. I don't know all the parts, but if you put me in front of some 50s cars, I'll go insane because I could just, if I could buy any car, I'd definitely buy one from the 40s or 50s because I just love their looks. I love their style. And then I got some other cool stuff that's like actual vintage Tonkas. Then we got old oil cans and all that stuff. But anyways, this is what everyone's here for. This is the layout that everyone sees in my videos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is my O-gauge Lionel 3-rail conventional layout, which consists of 3 tracks. I could fit a lot more if I wanted to, but kind of like the less busy look on everything.
So your mom and you were feverishly working on that thing yesterday, huh?
Yes, we were. We were trying to get to look as nice as possible for everybody. So, I guess if I'm to explain it. The scenery, like it's gonna be a lot more scenic looking than just this. I'm gonna have much more trees, rocks, but the scenery is gonna be based off of upstate New York. So that's gonna be like, in the back there by the aircraft beacon and the Getty oil derrick. That's kind of be like the Adirondacks and stuff. And then as we go down, it's gonna be like the towns in New York, maybe like Schenectady or something like that. But yeah, the upper loop is going to be, I guess, I call it the short line loop because there's not much action going on and it's not busy. And then the bottom two loops are the, what do you call them? The double track main line. I guess that's what I call for that. But yeah, it's a pretty simple loop, or it's a pretty simple layout. Not much to going on. But then we have the Wally station back there. We finally got it working.
Woohoo!
Yeah, I know. Woohoo indeed. Station here, we have a little tunnel with some lights that are eventually going to go in. You can just barely see the end of the blue comet there, which will be running shortly. Over here we have the post-war layout. Oh, look what's going on. It's the stream.
Yeah, all right. On the movie theater there.
So yeah, it's a pretty simple post-war. Now, my parents and I built this because I've always wanted to build a display layout, like, to go to places, maybe train shows or like little, I guess, small places. So in Salem, New York, which is pretty far east of where I live, it's nearby the Vermont border, they always do a Christmas parade, and inside the old railroad station, they have, like, a go meet Santa Claus thing with Miss Claus. So, like, they always
Sure.
there. So they wanted a train layout. And I'm like, oh, wait, can I actually do something for that? And like, yeah, sure, go ahead. So we designed, like, my favorite era, like, for people who don't know, is post-war line. Oh, I just love the look of everything. I know, like you, Wally, how you just love the toy look of everything.
I do.
So I decided to make it a post-war layout, so we have everything old night. This is all, like, original stuff, like, right here. My seaboard, that's all perfectly 50s, all the operating cars back there.
Oh, cool. You got a milk stand there and a station.
Mm-hmm.
And is that all Plasticville stuff on there?
Oh, yep. Yes, it is. We have all the old houses, the old station right there. I wonder if Ben's in chat. He'll probably know a lot more about this than I do.
Well, my big question is how much did all those people pay to get in the drive-in to watch that awesome movie?
Hey, hopefully there's... But yeah, I'm going to go get the tripod, and I guess we'll run some trains. So do we have any questions coming in right now, or are we smooth sailing?
What's your HO layout?
Smooth sailing. We've got some people asking about the HO layout, though.
1 second, though. This is the most comfy thing on earth. This is an old van seat from a 60s station wagon, I believe, or something like that, and it's the most comfy couch on earth. We got it for $40 garage sale, but yeah. Let me go to the HO layout. What questions do we have on this?
I think that people just wanted to see it. They kind of had a couple little glimpses of it and wanted to see that one a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. So this is going to be based off of upstate New York scenery.
So, Corey, I'm looking and seeing that you have a lot of D&H equipment. What's your connection with the D&H?
Alrighty.
And for D&H, one of the things that I'm getting some complaints about is acronyms. So D&H being the Delaware and Hudson, the railroad.
Yep. Now, I guess, well, I knew the question would arise eventually of, what's all the stuff with the D&H? But the D&H is my favorite railroad of all time, and the reason that being is because, like, I grew up really, really close to the D&H main line nearby Saratoga, and I had always, like, wanted to know the history behind them, because I never got to saw them run. Like, I was born post-2000 or whatever you'd like to call it, and I always saw Canadian Pacific run by, but I'm like, wait, there was another railway that went by there, or a railroad that went by there just besides Canadian Pacific. And it's like, yeah, it's a D&H. I'm like, wait, I got to check them out. And then the more research on them, the more and more I fell in love. And I'm like, wow, look at those locomotives. Look at the colors. Look at all the old Alcos and steamers. I just saw it like as the coolest thing ever. So really, but I think what makes me fall in love with the D&H, I guess, is that it's always wanting to see something you were never able to see. So it's like how people love the Titanic. None of us ever saw the Titanic, but it's always been that, I guess, passion of wanting to see, wow, that looks so cool. I wish I could always have something like that. So I guess, but the D&H is a lot more around. But yeah, I just love the D&H. I love their history, and there's a lot of people I know, like who still work for the D&H and all that stuff, and they always tell really cool stories of the stuff they saw, and I think that's just really made me fall in love with it. So I guess that's why I love the D&H.
So interesting, and this is a really good segue. LJL Railyard's asking, he's got a question and asks if you like the D&H 4664 Challenger.
Oh yeah, I love my Challengers. And wait, I guess we'll go into the next part. I'll get back to layout in a sec, but I was gonna show off some cool items because every item has history behind it. What made it, whether it may not look like it, but this here is a original 1950s Alco production, what I believe is a production model of the D&H J-Class Challenger. It has my friend's father's name on it. It says Strobel at the end. That was his last name. And this sat on his desk at the Alco Works in Schenectady during the 1940s and 50s.
That's amazing.
A cool thing because there's not any. I've never seen anything else like this. So I love the big rugged girls of the D&H. They're so beautiful. And then I guess this here was a miniature railroad spike that was actually used at the Cooperstown and Charlotte Valley Railway. They have a little railroad there, but I have so much D&H stuff that's kind of all hidden away. Like this here is a original very late 1900s, actually no, early 1920s D&H railroad lantern. You can kind of see the
oh, that's really cool. The glass
thing on the top, and then I guess there's my Reiko bell again. This actually works. I can plug it into the wall, but I won't do that. But it'll all sound off. In the corner there, we have some original D&H rail from Mechanicville, New York. I'm not sure if Grandpa's watching, but like you said, Wally, I believe he has the one of these lanterns right here.
Yeah, he's here, Dad. You got to check this out. Does this look familiar?
And this on the back has the Pennsylvania Railroad keystone. Then we have clearly the Pennsylvania Railroad. Yeah, that's the favorite other railroad besides the D&H would definitely be the Pennsylvania. I just love their history of how they served the area, kind of the farmish history, and then love the colors. So, but yeah, anyway, let's get to running some model trains. That's what we're all here for.
Cool. And Corey, while you're rolling over there, I got a question. What's the size of the two layouts that or actually all of the layouts, but starting with the HO layout? What's the size of the HO layout?
The HO layout and the post-war layout are both the same size. They are 4x6 layouts, plywood we built on top of that. And how they both work is you can separate them in the center. So if they need to be easily towed anywhere, you can split them in half, take everything off, and easily transport them. And the big layout here, this is a 12x8 layout, so it's three 4x8 plywood boards put together, all to create this big mast that on. And then also I have my trains down here. I have my 1656 post-war bell ringing switcher right there, which I did a video on.
You just got that one, right?
We have the Lakeshore Limited from the MPC era right there. And everything else is up on there. But anyways, let's get to running some model trains. So I'm going to put the camera down for a sec. I'm going to get the tripod, and then we'll have a smooth run-in.
So as he's doing that, I'm going to answer some question. Hardcore, he's got three layouts there. He's got the one that he's about ready to start up. He's got the post-war one that's over to the left of that layout, and then the HO one. So three layouts in that basement. LJL's checking in, says that he's a Pennsylvania Railroad too.
I know Brian Burns is as well.
Yep. Hopefully he's still around watching. Get a kick out of a lot of that stuff.
Alrighty, is it focusing? It doesn't. Okay.
There we go. We just got it back focused. Looking good.
Alrighty, here we go.
Yeah, blue comet, George.
Oh,
I love that blue comet.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, Corey, we're getting some people saying that they like your crossing signal. Can we get a zoom in on that? Yeah, I think that trouble yesterday was.
Oh, yeah. Good.
Alrighty, I guess we'll move on to the next layout. Do we have any questions so far?
I've got a lot of people that are tuning in and saying that they really like the layout. Corey, some of the things that they liked in particular, they like, and you might want to maybe feature a little bit as you move around the layout. They like the crossing signals, and they really like that top level too.
Oh yeah, the upper layout's one of my favorites too. I'll move right over here in a sec. I'll get the post-war layout run and I'll show off.
And
the
ours,
accessory.
Corey, you're also getting a lot of compliments about how you've got a really good use of space on your layout. A lot of neat stuff going on there.
Originally, it was supposed to only be one loop on a 12x8 layout, which would have been the most boring thing ever. Like, there was going to be no accessories, no nothing. It was all just going to be this was all supposed to be post-war, too. But my parents eventually persuaded me to be like, oh, you should really put on scenery to look a lot nicer. So, I eventually, as you can see, I did that. So,
Well, very cool.
Too.
I'll get the trains running in just another sec. So, thank you, everybody, for your patience.
that mound's pretty.
I like how that's one thing I like about his lab. It's not after upstate New York, so it's all like
Right.
the layout on the cover of the classic portraits that Grandpa was in.
Mm-hmm. We lost the audio.
Move on to the next layout.
Oh, he just shut it off. All right, so we got a couple of questions before you move over there. If you would humor us here for a couple of seconds here, Corey. Again, we had a couple of guys ask about those crossing signals. That was something that's a really neat feature on your layout. The crossing signals. If we could focus in on those, and a couple of people asked if we could have those, if you could show those again. And one of the questions was, do you have that set up off of a block, or is that infrared?
This is off of a block. So how it works is, I wish I knew how. I'm not a wiring kid, but I would have had it wired to both tracks. Only wired the outside track, so when like the insulated rail starts, I believe, here, and it'll go all the way to about there. So blocks are MTH, I believe. Actually, yeah, they're real nice. I'll do a video play-by. You can almost looks like you're in the car right there. So I'll do a play-by.
Oh, that's a cool view right there. Neat, Corey.
Let me just try to get it set up so it doesn't fall like that. Alrighty, here we go. So I'll just play the outside train so you kind of get an idea of what it looks like.
Blue Comet's flying.
So that's pretty much how they work. It's pretty simple. They weren't very hard to they were hard to wire because I didn't have any experience. So it took weeks and weeks trying to fire out because it'd be one little thing that set them that'd make everything wrong. So I'm not a very good person, I guess, to even try to wire things, but that took a while. Over here, if I didn't explain, we're gonna have a nice wood trestle, lake under that. But yeah, the ballast thing was also really hard. I did a video on that, but it was actually a very nice view. But yeah, we'll move on to the post-war layout.
So Corey,
Uh-huh.
what kind of scenery are you gonna put underneath the trestle?
So underneath the trestle, I don't know really what you call it, but it's gonna be, I guess, kind of rocks, trees, and it's gonna be of a pond look, I guess. I don't really know how to quite say it, but not a very active looking river. So, like, you know, we're going to have a few hobos fishing. We're going to have some lily pads, some overgrown stuff, and I might put in some logs and fallen trees. Like, you know, when you go biking and you see an old bike path, you always see that stuff. So I'm trying to relate it really off of the scenery I see around my house. So.
And another question, a follow up on that is from somebody on the stream here is did you buy it or did you make it from scratch?
Now the trestle, we made that from scratch completely. The legs we made out of the clay, and we got some little kind of log looking things from a craft store nearby our house. So we just put those all together, we painted it, and then we made that. And then the top, the wooden bit, I did a video on that on my channel not too long ago actually, but we had to get some cardboard out or paper, and we had to trace it out to get the exact shape of the O-gauge strap, which is really, really hard. It took a very long time, but it ended out working well. So, anyways, I guess I'll roll the post-war layout. So, let me try to get a better view to where you can see more. How's that look?
Yeah, it's great.
And then I'll get to the operating stuff in one sec. Get it on the switch.
Cool. That is awesome.
Yeah, so that's that.
So, Corey, I got some questions about the layout.
Shoot
So,
me out.
what kind of power do you have powering the whole layout?
So all of this surprisingly runs off of one nearly broken KW line-out transformer from the post-war era. As you can see, it's missing its outer shell, but most of everything here is powered up to the bit. So it's pretty.
Corey, your transformer's naked.
I know. Cover it up. Don't let people see it. But anyways, for the other layout, if anybody asked, I'm sorry I didn't get to that. I'm running that off of one big ZW, I think the best of the transformers, and then I have my backup, or I guess auxiliary transformer, which is this guy here, the 100RW, like that. Yeah. So That's really, I guess, the power source for all of these two guys. On the HO layout, I'm using a NCE power cab system since that's DCC. Everything else is conventional.
That's cool. Hold on. Why don't you get Oh shoot, wrong. Just gotta get the censored by the Chesapeake in Ohio.
George is blowing his whistle every time I said something he didn't like today. He was using the Chesapeake and Ohio whistle sensor on me.
Yep. So where'd you get all this stuff for your the post-war layout, Corey?
So for the post-war, this is actually has a really neat story. Let me put myself back in the camera. Wait, actually, let me flip it. Come on. Alrighty, this works. So the interesting story behind that is that it's getting a little bright. There we go. So the interesting I'm just moving. The interesting story behind that is we had a friend of the family who's when they were kids, they had post-war stuff. So they had it kind of in the garage, I guess, of their house, and they one day called my family up and like, oh, well, we know your son likes Lionel and that stuff. So they're like, well, would you like to take a look, see what we have, see if you'd like anything? So I'm like, alrighty, cool, look at it. And then they open the shed up, and it's a really, really old mid-50s, late 50s Lionel post-war layout. It's all dusty, it's on its side. But they had all the Plasticville buildings, all the ones here, and they had the Seaboard switcher and all the operating cars. That was all at the, gotta watch my fingers. Of this stuff here. And this was practically in the same condition it is there. It's in pretty good condition, as you can see. So yeah, we had the train guy, but they all had that stuff, and they graciously gave it to me. So I'm very happy. That's really where I got most of this. The other stuff, most of the track, I kind of bought I bought from my train store, which is really good. It was like about $1 per piece of track or something like that, and then a deal, you kind of get knockdown price. But that's pretty much where I got everything there. The few accessories, the one railroad crossing and the railroad crossing I got all the way in Colorado. That was a really long distance. When I went out there, the gate man came with the Seaboard switcher, but it's not working, sadly. The wiring is really complicated. And then there's the semaphore signal that also came with the Seaboard switcher. So that's really where I got everything for that. The big layout, I pretty much bought nearly everything there. The fast track I kind of had from Christmas layouts, like, how you always set up. You guys, I don't know how much track. I don't know where you guys pull all that stuff.
Well, a lot of it, I had to, so basically the Christmas layout was before we started to do everything on this layout. So a lot of, the raw switches on there are on this layout currently. So next year's Christmas layout might not be as big just because we don't have the resources for it. But, yeah, it was just, I don't know, it's stuff I wanted to do something bigger than 2 years ago. Because 2 years ago was pretty big. It took up the whole entire,
I felt like it took up your entire house or something.
Oh, yeah, but this year's was just, the living room, the kitchen. It was, that was probably one of my favorite layouts to run on. Although, towards the end of the layout, I kind of started having problems just with, floor layouts and stuff like that, the track. But yeah, that layout was probably one of my favorite layouts to run on, just because I don't know how just how cool it was, the operating aspect.
Kind of fun. It's in a different place they've never been before.
Yeah.
So, I get you with that. See, I can't go very far. My parents wouldn't like that. If the track out of the living room, it was like, no, take it down.
Oh, neither did my mom. I had a day off from school, and I finished the layout that day, and my mom couldn't say to take it down because it was our Christmas layout, so...
That was good, George. That was good. In fact, you made a YouTube video about it, right?
I made a couple, yeah. It was, I think it was an entry to SMT Mainline's competition, and then I did a...
But wasn't the very beginning is like, Mom, if you're watching this...
Yeah. I had a subtitle, or it's like a drop down that says, Mom, if you're watching this, please leave until you get home. And so that was fun. That layout was fun. But yeah. So I see you have a bunch of signs on the walls. Do you have any cool stories on those?
Yes, I do. Like I said, for the Mohawk one, if I go back, I have a very interesting story with the. I'm not sure if anybody noticed the Park in Tilford sign, but the story behind that guy is pretty neat. So there used to be. I live like where I am, like there used to be farms and all that stuff, but there was an old, probably well over 100-year-old farmhouse behind, like next door to my house. This is the sign there. Let me try to put this down. I'll angle it up and tell its quick story. Now, yeah, I like sign collecting. American Pickers really got me into that. But the story of this guy was that they were taking down the house because it was really a hoarder's house, right? Like all junk in there, and they were taking it down. And I spotted this guy. I only saw the P, like this little corner here, sticking out from all the rubble. I'm like, I'll take a chance at it. It might be cool. And then as we unearthed it more, we saw this beautiful. It's a double-sided porcelain, if anyone's curious. This beautiful Park and Tilford's chocolates and bonbons. So we pulled that out of the house. We got it for free. And the story behind it is it used to be a chocolatier place down in New York City that I can't remember what year they closed, but they were open for a decently short time, I believe. But yeah, it's a really, really cool piece. So I have so many more like this. Like this is a reproduction sign, but a lot of other signs I have cool histories on. Like here, as you can see, beautiful old 6-foot crossbucks. I got those at the Amherst train show 2 years ago. So if you were there, you might have saw me carrying those out. But yeah, I have a lot of cool other stuff. Like across from my house, where the old White House was, used to be a junkyard full of full 50s cars. That's kind of where I got my thing from. Like I never saw them there, but let me get it down. So as you can see here, we have I believe this is a 1953 Cadillac Eldorado tail light. Then we have I can't remember what year. It's a 1955 Ford hood ornament. So that's a really cool piece. Let me try to put it up. So you can find parts like that, and then a bunch of other stuff like this here is I believe a old railroad hand car, like the one they used to move luggage, and you got all the other stuff. And there's another tail light. I think that's from a Chevy. Then that's a really cool radio. I tell you, that thing's loud. But yeah, up here we have the. This is the street sign that my dad grew up with. So like the Hawthorne Road sign. That's where my grandparents' house was. So then there's other stuff too. Like boom, you have a Ford hubcap block. That's the coolest thing I have probably. It's such a neat thing. Then down there we have some telephone and telegraph signs. So that's really another hobby of mine, collecting all that cool stuff, because nobody else really my age wants that. I don't know any other sign pickers my age or anything like that. So kind of all this comes down to me in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, I kind of like collecting a bunch of old railroad stuff. All of this is mine. So my parents wouldn't care about any of this.
That's cool. Oh, okay, so Texas Trainmaster 2248 is asking if you like the Cotton Belt and BNSF.
I like BNSF and Cotton Belt. Like, I think BNSF is probably like my favorite modern day railroad, but I don't know really anything about them. I guess that's that question. Yes, Texas, I do like those.
That's cool. That's cool. Do you have any other cool stories you want to share with us? Dude, we're enjoying this, man.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of cool other stories. Here's a fun story. So I'll share the history behind. So as we know, everybody knows, last year 6/11 came down to Strasbourg, which is probably that was probably my favorite thing that happened there at all time. And this boxcar here, I'll take it out. I'm very careful. I gotta watch my fingers again. But I've touched this thing since day one when I got it. So like I had so many good memories at that place, and they still make this boxcar, but as you can see, it's got the 6/11 thing. I don't know many other people who have it, but it's such a cool piece, and it's really nice too. It's nicely detailed.
That is really neat.
Is that a Menards car?
I don't believe it is. It's made by let's see, Ready Made Trains 2019.
RMP, all right.
But yes, it's had such a great time there. I got this there, and the line was really long inside the shop. So I'm like, come on, we pre-ordered it. I want to get my boxcar, and then I was going to be probably late to my train if I didn't get that boxcar, because we had to get there early in the day, because many thousands, probably like a good few thousand people were there getting merchandise and all that stuff. So we had to get that quickly. But then I have so much other things, like we have these little pieces of rail here. This is from the Stewartstown Railroad. we were like, oh, is there anything you can buy or anything? Like, yeah, we got some slices of rail from our railroad if you guys would like. The D&H lantern I already said the story on. Down there's the Reiko bell I got off of eBay for only $60. But another cool piece I have, I'm not sure if I can pick it up. This is going to be really hard. It's the 40 pound, oh, well over 40. This is probably like 50 pound D&H rail. So this came out, but I think it's really heavy. But the story behind that is that we have a pond in our yard. We have 10 acres, so of course we have kind of something like that. But, like, since we're on the farm, cows used to drink out of it. But there's a guy we kind of hire here and there to dig out our pond, and his grandfather worked for the D&H in Kentville. So he had that piece of rail, and he didn't really want it anymore. I mean, he doesn't like trains, and nobody else in his family did. So they're like, oh, well, your son likes trains, right? How about something like that? So I remember hearing that for the first time. It's like, oh, a guy has something he'd like to give you. I'm like, oh, wait, really? That's something cool. And they leave that there. I'm like, so that was the last thing I was expecting. I would think it'd be like a button or something, but a piece of rail. That's like the coolest thing, though.
Yeah, yeah.
That's off of what I believe was an old switch, like, Mechanicville back in the day, for those who don't know, was probably one of the biggest yards, I believe, in America back at the time. So
We have a
piece of cool railroad.
yeah.
Everything has a story behind it. Like, just imagine the cool train, like every cool train that went over. Like, and you can see it's really
Oh
deep.
yeah.
Wow, look how deformed it is. Yeah.
Imagine all the old. I believe this would have. Well, Stewartstown was always operating, so that would have been one of their trains. So just imagine all the cool stories. That's what I like to think when I'm buying things. It's like, I just don't really think of things as items. I think of things having like, wow, they're just like people. They have really cool stories, and I just wish I knew what stories they had. So like, the lanterns. Imagine all the cool guys who were holding that thing and like, demanding the trains go here and there, or all the water lanterns and all that
Corey,
stuff.
I got to share a YouTube channel with you. We've got a good friend of ours whose name is Roger Karp.
Oh.
And
Sounds familiar. That sounds familiar.
Roger Karp is the editor of Classic Toy Trains magazine.
I think I know him. Yeah.
And I think it's called Ask Dr. Roger, and he's got a really neat video series. If you look up Classic Toy Trains, you'll be able to find it. If you just on YouTube.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll in a minute here just look it up myself. But and I just can't remember right off the top of my head. But he has a real nostalgic look at not only post-war trains, but he loves to like look at boxes and think about the stories and goes into things just like that. That's a neat one that might be a neat one for you to check out.
And that's the thing, I guess, with model trains too. Like, all the post-war stuff, I bought that. My grandfather didn't have anything post-war when he handed his stuff to me. So I like to think of who was the lucky kid to get something like that on Christmas Day.
Oh yeah.
And imagine how happy they were. Like, I can feel the same level of joy they got when they got that, but I can't imagine pulling it out of the box for the new time, being like the kid in the ads or whatever, where he's like looking at the train.
Yeah.
Right. We've all had that feeling, haven't we?
Yeah, really. And I mean, there's a lot of other cool stuff I collect too. Like, I kind of collect a lot of things. Like, I can see me in 80 years being on the next version of American Pickers, where they're going through my house and me being like, that's a neat story type of thing. But I collect cameras. And like, cameras are a fun thing because I always like to imagine what was shot off of them. Like, did this capture anything like maybe historic or something? We'll never know.
Yeah.
Right.
I think they have such a cool history and stuff. So yeah, I'm a but it's a lot of fun stuff. It's hard to put into words, but it's really cool. It's really cool.
So you're getting a lot of advice on the stream here from the guys from my generation on older. They're saying that you better have a good job so you can buy a big house.
Oh yeah. That's sure if I have more money left to do anything, so I might just keep the house I'm in and kind of add on to it or something like that. But yeah, a lot of money to get. I guess get some things here and there. But here I've had with all this.
Here's a good question from somebody in the comments. If you could have any train that you don't have, what would it be?
Are we talking model train or real life? Real life, I got a lot of choices.
Both.
Okay, real life. So model train, I guess one of the biggest model trains I've ever wanted to have was probably. That's a good question. Whoever asked that, thank you. But I guess it would be. I think it would be okay. So it's the 259E Lionel pre-war set, like with
yeah.
why here's why I probably want that the most. So back in the day, my grandfather had a 259E in his basement, like the whole set and everything. And I'm pretty sure I remember him telling me that was the very first model train he had ever gotten back in. I think it was released in 1932 or something like that. So he was the little boy who got that, and I'm like, wow, that's his first train. That's the coolest ever. So, but then eventually kind of got lost down the family. So I'm like, oh dang. But I've always wanted that, to kind of honor his memory to the best it could be. Like, wow, this was my grandfather's first train. But I guess other model trains I'd like were probably Vision Line Big Boy. That would be a really cool one. Another post-war one I would like. What's its name? The 2023 Union Pacific set. The yellow one.
Oh, yeah.
You guys got that, but
The Elko, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the Alcos. Where's Ben when you need him?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Then I guess modern locomotives. I don't know my moderns very well. That's kind of why I built the layout. I know somebody's probably thinking that, like, oh, why don't you have like what George and Wally have with all the kind of modern motives they have? The reason I kind of did that is because I inherited all this stuff, and I'm like, well, I want something to run it off of, because these are the trains I grew up with. I grew up with where you just put it on the track and watch it go, versus having all these fancy sounds, and I have to always worry about, well, what if that breaks, or what if I drop? Yeah, if you drop one of those, that's ouch.
So, Corey, not to cut you off or anything, I just want to make sure that we're on the timeline here. I know that you're, it's kind of a celebration for you, right?
Yeah, this is the first time I've ever been live on anything. I'm live again tonight.
Well, yeah, that too. But also, you're about ready to do a live stream, right?
Yes, I am, for my YouTube channel, Artist Trains. I did a.
That's the celebration I'm talking about.
I did a 300 subscriber giveaway, and that's going to be like, giving away a few items. It's going to be a post-war station, an O-scale weathered boxcar, and then a H.O. Bachmann Silver Series New York Central boxcar. I memorized that good. But I'm giving that away, so yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun tonight. So.
What time are you doing that at?
So that is going to be 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's, I believe, 6 for you guys?
All right, good. Then we'll keep rolling here. I was scared that we were going to roll over into the same time as you did that, so we'll keep rolling. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't want to keep you guys here for too long.
Absolutely not. This is awesome, Corey. We enjoy this a lot.
Yeah, dude, this is amazing.
Oh, thank you, guys. I don't get those words a lot, so I can't think of what to say, but thank you guys. I guess I know you guys belong in a lot of clubs, so I guess if the question was to be asked, let me get to my real locomotive. My favorite real locomotive, if I could get a real locomotive in real life, would be Chesapeake and Ohio 490, the yellow streamline 464. Yeah. I don't know why. When I went there a few years ago, I was walking by and I saw that thing, and I have a thing for odd trains, I guess.
The Yellow Belly Hudson, right? Correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
Once I saw kind of its lines, I love the streamlining it has. I'm like, that's such a cool train. If I had I know Lionel, or not, I think, is it MTH or Lionel who makes it? I know one
they
of them.
both did, I think. My grandpa has the Lionel one. That was actually the first TMCC engine we got.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that was the first TMCC engine ever
Oh,
made.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's the first TMCC engine ever made. Yeah.
Yes. If I could have that in real life, I mean, that's a lot of money. If I could have it, it'd be really cool. And then I guess the second locomotive, because it's always a choice between these two. If it would be that, or there's this one Alco RS3 which I really love. It's called Greenwich and Johnsonville 4116 to the Battenkill Railroad. That's probably my favorite diesel of all time. I don't know why, but it's a short line nearby my house, the Battenkill Railroad, and they only operate vintage equipment. So they use 2 RS3s, one's out of service, but they use the 4116 to always haul their cargo loads. And this is an old short line, too.
Yeah.
100 years old. It's an old D&H short line, and it runs through the hills of New York and the field, all that stuff. So that's why I really like it, because I've always wanted to catch it, but they don't really have a schedule, so it's a kind of a coin toss, like a 50-50 chance of them running that day. But, once you start to hear, it kind of come to life, and you hear the engine idle and stuff, and that sound, it's like what makes my heart beat so fast. I'm like, oh, that's such a cool sound.
Yeah.
I don't know what horn it has. It's like an RS5T or something like that. But
Yeah.
such power. Like,
Yeah.
sounds super powerful. So if I had to have any diesel, it would have that. And if I had to have a steam engine, it'd be 490. I have so many other steam engines I love. Like I love Strasbourg 7002. It's the Atlantic they have. I don't know why I love Atlantic so much. I love the huge drive wheels. But
Oh yeah, that's yeah.
I could go on forever and ever talking trains. But things about that's what So,
Yeah. And you mentioned a little bit about like live steam, like the the ride-on stuff.
I didn't get back to that, but yeah, I know you. What club is your guys again?
We belong to the Prairie State Railroad Club in Big Rock, Illinois.
So I belong to. So for people who don't know, I belong to Live Steamers, which is probably one of the biggest live steam clubs around the Northeast because they have. I could go. Okay. So they have so much cool stuff. They have like a very huge layout. They have tons and tons of tracks. I can't remember how how much track they have, but it's quite a bit. They have then they have all a bunch of cool stuff. They have working signals, they have Ys, they got tunnels, they got bridges, and it goes through the forest of the Adirondacks too. So it's not just like a straight line in the middle of nowhere. It's like you're going around the trees, you're going underneath the track, and this is all stuff the guys built too. And really, the railroad's nice, but it's the guys who are there who made it like such a cool place. So, like just to name a few off the top of my head, Bradley Peterson Jr. I could go on and on. Jeremy Gay. There's Charlie Pellick. There's I could go on and on. Chris Ritter. But these guys make the ALS such a cool place because they have such like coolest locomotives I've ever seen. Like some have custom paints of like GE. Some of their own steam locomotives. That's what I find so fascinating. How you can even get a steam locomotive working at the but what I love more about that is these guys' personalities, because they're regular guys just like me or you, but it's so cool to see that they have the same passion that we do, and that they put all their time into working on this railroad. They put all their time onto working and maintaining their locomotives, and then once it's like show day, you see it run around. It's so cool. Like when I went there for the first time, I did a video on it. I believe it's called Trains in Miniature, the Adirondack Live Steamer, but I fell in love. I have never been that happy in my life because I was every minute there would be a new train going by.
Oh,
so one
yeah.
on an E8, the next would be like an 040 Camelback. The next would be a SW or it was an NW2 or something like that. But so many different trains going around, all with the different things. Like some were BNSF, some were Erie Lackawanna. There was D&H cars and stuff like that. And it was so cool. So I'm like, wow, look at that. So yeah, I keep coming back every year. We do club meets. Well, we used to do them a lot, but unfortunately, due to the whole pandemic thing, we can't even get to meet each other because it's kind of a unsafe thing to really do. But we have big meets every year. We have the spring meetup and we have the fall meetup. And people from all over the Northeast, like some people even come from Canada, some people come from Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Connecticut, Maryland, all that stuff. And Maine, there's a few guys who come from Maine, but they all meet up, and there's well over 50 trains a day at that place, all going by, and really, that's cool.
Yep.
The other club I'm a part of is the Hudson Berkshire division of the NMRA, which is a model railroading club, and NMRA, as you know, goes across the whole country.
States, yeah.
But really, what it's about is kind of like learning new things about model railroading, like kind of workshop. So it's like learning new things, like here's how you weather, or here's some tips how you can do scenery and stuff like that. So my division, what we do is we meet up about once a month, and we'll all go like to different places, like sometime or maybe a few more times than once a month, but a few times we'll go to people's houses. We'll see some of the cool, like. Okay, so you're driving by the road light and you're just looking at a house. You'd never think of that thing to have some of the coolest layouts you've really ever seen, because these guys have such neat layouts. Like one, I did a video on that as well. There's a man named John McBride, and he has a F-scale narrow gauge layout.
Oh yeah, you're talking about that. Yeah.
Picks up the entire basement, like your guys' layout. It's going all over the place, up and down. It's got really fantastic scenery, and then there's so many other layouts that I've been to, and these guys really have such a devotion to, I guess, the hobby, and we're like preserving history in model railroad form. But these guys are really, really cool. They're really nice people, and then we all get along well. And the last event we did before we officially, like, we can't meet together anymore, was a show and tell. So we all brought in real railroad artifacts and stuff. We put them on like tables.
Cool.
Oh yeah, that is cool.
I brought like this stuff I showed you. Not everything, clearly. I don't have that. I don't have a truck that big, but I brought some stuff, and there were some really cool stories. Like there was one guy, his father worked for the Pennsylvania Railroad, and he had his father's work bell. So it had the keystone on it. It had all the original tools, and he never really had gotten to know his father so well. But that's what he knew his father by, was that work belt. So I love this story guys have. Cool items, like one, there was John McBride, which I mentioned earlier. He worked for the D&H, so we had his original stuff. Like he had a reverser, he had I'm not sure if it was his, but he had an original D&H helmet and all those other really cool stuff. And there's so much there, but the guys there are really, really cool and nice. Same thing for ALS too, because we'll sometimes kind of do, I guess, meetups. So NMRA will one day go to Adirondack Live Steamers, so I'm a part of both. So I guess it'll be a fun thing. Like we all meet around and we all talk and stuff like that. But yeah, clubs that I'm part of.
Yeah. So, like, we belong to the Train Collectors Association, so I'm assuming... So, you mentioned a little bit about F-scale. How big is that?
So, I can't quite remember. F-scale is between O-scale and G-scale, so it's kind of like a down G-scale.
Okay.
The track is all custom, I'm pretty sure. But that, or it's G-scale track, but the locomotives are much... Like, you have ON30 scale... So, like, I believe it might be something like that. I can't quite remember how it works, but it's really, really neat because locomotives, a lot of them are custom-made shades.
Oh, yeah. I'm assuming yeah, you'd have to do all that just because it's probably not that common at all, you know?
No, I never even knew F-scale existed.
Yeah.
So, wait. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's the cool part about a lot, like, this, like, the people who make their own rolling stock and stuff like that, that is so, like, cool. Because a lot of it... Yeah,
like,
a lot of
you guys, you have... What do you guys have again? You have your speeder, then you have the Santa Fe Swifter, right?
Yes, correct.
So, then, you can't build that... Or, no, yeah, you have to build that stuff.
Yeah.
It's not made, really. So then there's, like, the guys who always build the custom wood. Like, there's a guy at my club, Chris Rittner, and he builds a lot of custom stuff. So recently he just flat car, he has a locomotive or two or something like that, but it's really cool to see what these guys can build. Like, they're really good craftsmen, because working with all these big metal cutting tools and even putting that together, like, I can understand a HO kit is hard enough for me.
Yeah.
But at that scale, I would never be able to do that. So that's what I really like about those guys, because they know their stuff well, and they're such nice guys. So
well, it's the cool part about that too is, like, when people custom make it, they don't have to rely on, like, the manufacturers getting everything periodically correct. So that stuff is so detailed down to, like, real, like, scuffs on the engine, you know, like a line where, like, they had to, like, cut apart the boiler or something like that. Like, I mean, it's, like, just the cool part about that is, like, how, like, detailed everything is when it's custom, like, made. Like for example, the F-scale stuff. I've gotta believe that is probably, like, so detailed, and, like, everything like about that layout has to be, like, you know, special, or, like, you know.
Sorry to interrupt, George, but what I really like about that layout is, like I said yesterday, that it's based off of a real life railroad. So the guy building it is trying to model it off of these real life places. So yeah, he's trying to put in as much detail as possible. Like, oh, this would have been this exact turn. Oh, because that layout has a working hump yard, like I said. So he rolls the old wooden box cars up, and then he can take them off, and they'll all roll down the hill. Stuff like that, I really like, because they're so detailed and, I guess, historically accurate to what it really been like, versus my layout's kind of a freestyle. Like, I kind of do as I please, because what I find hard working with trying to be historically accurate is that you have to do everything to that exact thing. Like, you know how hard it is to try to find a custom building that looks exactly like or stuff like that. So that's why I kind of like freestyle. But those guys I really appreciate and really like, because they work down to the bone trying to make sure everything's as accurate as possible. And if it's not as accurate as possible, they try to get to as close as they can and be like, okay, well, this doesn't look exactly like that, but we'll put the name of the correct building that it would have been on early. Stuff like that. I find it really cool. So yeah, working in F scale or Livestream, that's really hard to do because you got to be very careful. I guess.
We got a question in the chat. It says, Corey, do you like steampunk trains?
Steampunk?
I think that, yeah, that's what it's typed out as.
I don't really know steampunk well.
All right.
And stuff. There's one guy at my club who has a really big Berkshire, I believe. That's all steampunk. It has all the pipes going all over it. It's got the brassy and the kind of steel look to it. That's really cool. I can't remember his name, but yeah, I guess I like steampunk. I like the kind of cool, odd look it has to it. But I don't really know much about steampunk. But yeah, I think it looks cool.
That's cool. So, anything else you want to share?
I guess there's a few other things. So I'm not sure if I discussed how I really got into the hobby.
Oh yeah, do that.
No, I know some people kind of have a hard time to say just got into trains, but for me, it's really three things that got me in for trains. So for number one, it'd be like most kids my generation. I'm pretty sure you too, George, that we got into trains through Thomas the Tank Engine. So back in the day, I remember being a little kid, sitting down at 6 in the morning watching Thomas the Tank Engine before I went off to preschool, and that really lit me up because I'm like, wow, that's such a cool programmer. Oh, I love Thomas. So that's what got me into that. The second thing would be Lionel trains, my grandfather's Lionel trains, because we'd go over to his house every weekend on a Sunday, I believe. And, my parents would go off and do their stuff for the day, and I'd be at my grandparents' house, and we'd always spend so much of the time in the basement running his trains because I'd just run around the layout trying to keep pace with it or just watch it and use my imagination to pretend the engineer and the conductor in the train or not see, yeah, you can see that. And you can see, or imagine a crew working or, oh, this train's off to this location. So, Lionel's, Thomas, and Strasbourg is really what got me into trains. Seeing steam, I think, operating for the first time is really captivated my mind and being like, wow, that is so cool. Seeing a steam engine. So yeah, those three things are really what got me into trains, but I have an odd history with it because I didn't start really getting into trains till about 2 years ago. Because before that, it was kind of like I like trains. I don't know anything about them though, so I couldn't name any railroads off the top of my head or any specific types of locomotives until about 2 years ago. I don't know what it was, but something kind of flipped. And that's where I started my channel, R's Trains, because we were pulling my grandfather's Lionels out of storage, and we're like, oh, well, are we going to put them in the attic, or what are we going to do? And I'm like, oh, I remember these. So I set up my first video on my channel, I set up a loop on the basement floor, right where I am, and I just took them out one by one. I'm like, alrighty, I guess I'll film, and I could make a YouTube channel. So I named the channel R's Trains, which stands for Robert's Trains, because my grandfather's name was Robert. And my channel was originally only supposed to be for his trains. So I wouldn't film anything else. I wouldn't film real life. It would only be specifically dedicated to his model trains. But I kind of found that starting to get boring because I'm like, oh, but I just heard this heritage unit went by. I'd love to film that and put on our train. Then eventually kind of just decided to break the boundary and be like, alrighty, I'm going to film everything I can train related. So that's really what got me into the hobby. R's Trains is what got me into the hobby. If I didn't take those Lionels out of storage, I never would have gotten into trains. So I'm kind of thankful that one day we decided, okay, where are we going to put the Lionels? I'm like, I want to make a YouTube channel. I want to film them going around. I know people are going to like that. And boom, here I am now. So 2 years later.
Yeah, that's cool. So, yeah, that's a really neat story. I just like how, it wasn't really something that, clicked till you found the need, I guess, inside of you. That's really cool.
Yeah, the weird history though, I guess, is that I did not appear into my videos till mid 2019, over a year after it was created. And how that worked was I mostly was filming really bad Lionel videos. That's what I'm gonna call them. But trade shows, I just used my iPhone. And I'd just kind of film. I'd just be like, oh, here's a train going by. Watch it go. Okay, thanks for watching. But I don't know what encouraged me to got really involved and make my channel instead of another boring train channel where you never know the person. You just see a train going by with no context. I decided, I'm gonna throw myself in. I know I'm camera shy, but I think I might be able to make our
Camera shy.
I believe my first video where I did a voiceover was my Canadian Pacific. No, wait, it was Strasbourg when I visited Strasbourg over a little over a year ago today. I decided, okay, I'm gonna do a voiceover in it, and I'm like, wow. I know it sounds bad, but that was so much fun to film because I didn't have I had a script, but I couldn't remember it. Like I don't have a really good memory, I guess. So I was stuttering a lot in that, and I couldn't think of words to say. But I had a lot of fun making that video. So I'm like, alrighty, next video I'm gonna do another video, kind of like I'm gonna do a little voiceover. And then I'm like, alrighty, you know what? It's time. People gotta. I was supposed to do a face reveal at 100 subscribers, but I was like, I don't care about that. I'm just gonna put myself in the spotlight and see how things go. So I believe the first video I was in on my channel was that's a tough one. I can't quite remember, but it was mid to late 2019 where I showed my face, and I'm like, wow, I'm not doing too bad with that. So I'm like, alrighty. I'm gonna continue putting myself out, and then I kind of got the hang of it. Like now, I can talk to you guys.
Yeah.
But early, like if you tried to talk to me in 2019, I couldn't think of a single thing. I'd be sitting there, I'd be looking like I don't know what to say. Versus now, I'm trying to. I think YouTube has helped me so much develop my personality because before that, I was a really shy kid. But through YouTube and talking to other people, seeing myself on camera, it's really helped me come out and feel like it's a stronger person. Because now when I go to train shows and stuff like that, I talk with like as many people as I can. And before that, like 2 years ago, I never would have talked with anybody. I would have been way too shy.
Yeah.
Or railroads, I now talk to so many more people. And that opens, what's the worst that's going to happen? Somebody's going to say, like that's the worst that can happen, literally. So I think YouTube's helped me develop as a person so much more. And realize that, yes, there are more people out there who care about the hobby than just me, especially my age, too. Because I'm so happy I found you guys. Like, if you guys, like I said earlier, didn't comment on my video 2 weeks ago, I never would have known what GFWs are. So, I'm really happy that, especially meeting you too, George. I feel like I've never met a single other kid my age who really likes model trains like you. So, like, I know a few other kids in my area who, they have some model trains, but they don't have a layout like you guys, or they don't really have, I guess, the thriving passion. Build a huge layout. So I'm really thankful I met you guys, because that really makes me feel like, oh, there's somebody else out there just besides me. So.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and another thing about model trains, too, that I think is, like, really cool, is so when you're buying, like, model trains or purchasing trains at train shows, you have, a lot of the vendors there are older people, so it teaches you to, like, talk to a lot of, like, adults and stuff like that, and not be, like, shy about that.
That's the thing, because this may sound weird, but there's a lot of old people who like me, I guess, but that's like, wow, wait, you're a kid who likes trains?
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll just start sharing and talking to each other, and then it's such a fun thing to be like, wow, I can't believe it. You're such a interesting person. I can't believe you like trains or something like that. I don't know any kid. Like, I believe in my NMRA club. Like I say, I think I am the youngest person, and I think the next oldest person to me is 38 years old.
Yeah.
So there's a huge age gap, unfortunately.
So I got to interject here. It's been so cool watching you guys talk about trains. And just a question. So you guys are like the next generation guys, right?
Yes,
and
we are.
Asking a question from from the older generation, what do you guys think you might be able to do to kind of grow and foster the guys like yourself into the hobby?
I think YouTube's.
I think like George is kind of saying, I think YouTube and train games have helped. Like, I guess, future rail fan or train lovers, I guess, because, like, YouTube, if YouTube didn't exist, we wouldn't be talking, there'd be no train. So YouTube has helped the railroading community so much, because right now we have everybody in chat doing all that, all talking, and it's me talking to you guys. So that's really helped kind of bring the community together, because if YouTube wasn't together, all we'd be doing is chatting through some weird online forums or something.
Yeah.
Also has helped is train games. So, like, most of my generation, like,
video
like
games. Yeah.
I'm not afraid to admit it. I like games, But I think train games, like, Train Simulator or
Yeah, yeah.
stuff like that has really helped a lot because there would be kids who'd be like, oh, a train game, I'll get it. And then they kind of be like, oh, that's really neat. Oh, wait, railroads are that? And then kind of bring them into the hobby like that. So it's kind of reaching out to new areas. But for the future, I don't know. Just I guess kind of like Doc Brown says or something, we don't know what's going to happen in the future. So I can't really think of future ways to reach out, but what would be cool, like, since virtual reality is such a cool thing, I'm not sure why they don't do like virtual reality operating locomotives. Like I'm pretty sure they do, but like real diesels, like kind of like if Train Simulator
Yeah.
went. They haven't already because that'd be so cool. Because I don't have we don't have the opportunity to just climb into a random locomotive. And
Oh,
be like,
yeah.
oh, so I think games kind of like really kind of help bring the realism of that and make the hobby really really fun. Because like 20 years ago we didn't have any of that. There was no YouTube. There was no train. Well, there was some train games, but they weren't really good like they are today. So I think stuff like that has really helped hook our generation.
Well, I think it's kind of one of the leading, or I think YouTube's kind of one of the leading reasons why the hobby is still alive, if that makes sense. Because, I mean, it allows people to share, like, their collections and stuff like that, and, just take pride in that. Yeah, exactly. I mean, so I kind of think that is a huge, like, factor into why, like the train, like, model trains are still alive. Because, I mean, if you think about it, like, it would be, model trains would kind of get boring if there's nobody to connect with, nobody, like, your age to connect
even
with.
make modern locomotives the way they do now. If they just would have kept the conventional locomotives, the hobby would have died at that point.
Yeah.
Because really, with I mean, I like playing with old trains, but like the new generation who are really just growing up with these, like they want to see more moving parts. Like I don't mind modern line out stuff. I think it looks really cool, and or like any modern O gauge or HO stuff. I think that's why I have a modern HO layout. But I think that stuff is really scale accurate and really makes it feel like more of a model train thing. But yeah, I feel like if they didn't have that, if YouTube didn't exist, and then if games, I guess, didn't exist, our generation wouldn't be into this at all.
Yeah,
So
that's very true. I mean, I grew up playing Train Simulator 2006. That was probably one of my favorite video games ever. But
right, the Trains app.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true. Yeah. Oh
Really?
my. There's so many countless hours on that.
So George, Corey, tell me about the train simulator of choice. What's it when
Train simulators?
or when I say train simulator, maybe I'm saying using the wrong terminology. The train games that you're talking about, the computer train stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what to call it, Corey. Sorry, you're making me feel old.
I'm not into that much either. But I guess my favorite train game is probably Trains: A New Era. So Trains is like it ends with a Z on the end.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I guess I call myself a really creative person. I do really well in arts and stuff and building stuff like on Minecraft or whatever. I can make the really like people say I guess I'm above average and stuff, but I feel like my buildings and stuff are really cool. Like maybe you guys I don't know might have seen stuff like that before, but I post a lot of my stuff online. So, but yeah, that's what I like in Trains: A New Era. I like the Trains games in general, where you can build your own layouts. Then you can download your own train. So I love creating railroads nearby me. I put a lot of work into that stuff. Currently, right now, I'm working on the Battenkill Railroad in Trains games. So trying to find buildings as accurate as possible, making the scenery look as accurate as finding locomotives and cars just like that. So that's what I like about the Trains game. And other train simulators, I don't mind. They're fun to feel like you're behind the wheel of a train or something. So or behind the throttle. So yeah. So. Well, George, what do you think about that?
I agree with you. Like, if you're going with like the arts aspect or like more model, I think the cool part about the train simulator or trains is those kind of have the model railroading like feel to them, like in a video game, if that makes sense. Just because you're choosing which trains go on the track and stuff like that. But if you're talking about people that like want just like want to operate the trains, I think the Train Sim World, I think that one's more because you're like a person like walking around the train and stuff like that operating, and I think that one's probably more for like operators. But that's right, like trains, that is like, I don't know, that kind of gave me like when I used to play it, like the model railroading aspect of like, or made like the model railroading feel with like real like like real eyes, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Like, I can remember the first time I discovered cab view or whatever you call it. And be like,
Yeah.
wait, interior to this? Whoa. So that's what I like about trains, I guess, because train is sim, you can't really rate as much stuff, or you're kind of limited, but train's a new era, or stuff like that. You can go inside the locomotive, you can create your own worlds, you can play with multiplayer, you can do all that other stuff. So that's why I really like that game. But yeah, I like the train simulator games too, because I like being behind the wheel. But for me, first time I had no clue what I was doing. I'm like, wait, there's a dynamic brake. What's that?
Yeah. Well, like in SMT Mainlines, naming off a couple, like Microsoft Train Simulator 2, that one was like a really big operator one for a long time. I know that. I have it. I didn't play it as much as I probably should, but yeah, I think that one's real cool. And then the Trains 2010 for iPad, I think that one was, because that one allowed me to play it more, because you don't always have access to a computer. And the cool part about those games is they don't require internet to play them, so you can play them anywhere.
That's why I like them. I think that they're a fun, attracting thing. So yeah, because I had the Trains app. I remember barely Microsoft Train Simulator. I remember the graphics feeling fuzzy, but the derailment so much fun.
Oh yeah, that's just I think that makes Microsoft Train Simulator unique is just the sounds.
Yeah, that too. I remember.
But yeah, that I think the video game aspect does help the hobby a lot too.
Because it's going to be interesting to see where the hobby, I guess, goes from the road down from this point. Because things are getting more and more tech related or tech based off of. So you wonder how, I guess, model railroading is going to seek into that. Like, are there going to be virtual model railroads where I'm going to put on a VR headset and I have a line?
Oh yeah.
Or I don't know how it's really. I guess that's an interesting question. Only time can figure out. But
yeah,
it's going to be fun to see, I guess, where that stuff heads on. But like I say, I like post-war. I kind of like old. I guess that's my personality. I guess I call my old soul or something like that, because I love old music, like that, all that stuff. So.
Well, and then we got a question by Jidoku Samurai asking, what's your opinion on railroad tycoon games?
That's a really tough one. Man, I can't. That's dang it.
I do think that those are cool, just because they put you at like this perspective of like somebody who is like the owner of a railroad, like
kind of like it's a good thing for people who want to try out business and stuff.
Yeah.
Thinking, would it be like to own a business? So I guess Tycoon Simulator or something like that kind of help get an aspect of like, what's it like owning this or that? But I can't really choose one because I haven't played them much. But I know
I haven't either. But yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Answer the question.
But yeah, so that yeah. Well, it looks like it's about halfway or half an hour till your stream's up. So
yeah, what was?
I gotta get going. I'm so sorry, guys.
Oh no, this is awesome.
This
is awesome. Well, Corey, before we let you go, why don't you give your another tell us what you've got going on one more time, and tell us about your channel, because not only are people watching the stream, but a lot of people watch after the stream as well. So give a plug for your channel and give a plug for your live stream that you got coming up here.
It's plug time. So again, one more time, my name is Corey, and my train channel, like I said, RS Trains, is a lot like GFW Trains, where I film everything train related. I actually have a neat thing coming, depending on if a guy's gonna let me do it, but I'm going to metal detect an old railroad depot potentially.
Wow.
For friends over. So hopefully that goes through. But yeah, I do everything trains. I love doing rail fanning. I love rail fanning tourist railroads. I think those are some of the coolest places ever because I love the vintage equipment. I do model trains. I'm going to put out a video tomorrow, actually, of the Lost O-Gauge train, this guy, which is the Lionel Lyons Alco PA. I'm going to put a video out on him tomorrow, kind of explaining that, and we're going to be running him on that. So yeah, I do really everything train related, just like you guys. I have a few. Hopefully, once this whole quarantine ends, I'll get to go out and do a lot more. Like Livestream will come back. I get to do videos for my club and stuff like that. But yeah, I really do a lot what you guys do. So this year it's kind of been hard, but this year I really want to hit 1,000 subscribers. It's a really far goal. Currently, right now, I'm at 347, so I have a long way to go. But I mean, it's kind of hard to say, but check me out if you haven't already, because I do a lot of cool stuff. I think if you like GFW trains, I think you'll like me too, because I do a lot of cool stuff just like them. So, yeah, I guess that's a weird plug. I can't really plug it.
I love it. I love it. And what about your stream that's later on?
Yes, for those who are subscribed to my channel know me, I did my 300 subscriber special / giveaway, and at 7 p.m., which is coming really shortly, I'm going to be doing my giveaway. So that is, I'm going to be giving away 3 items, which is a post-war Lionel station. I'm going to be doing a O-scale weathered boxcar, and then once again the HO New York Central Bachmann Silver Series boxcar. Yeah, okay, I got the name. But yeah, I'm going to those 3 items on a live stream later tonight. That's probably going to be about 30 minutes long because I don't want to keep everybody waiting. So, but yeah, it's going to be that. So if you haven't checked me out already, please do so. I'd love to have you join my little corner on YouTube. So, yeah, that's that.
Awesome. And I've got one last question that O'Brien Burns has been asking over and over again. You guys all know Brian Burns from the Discord group. He wants to know, cam Ford or M1? All right, you don't have to answer that question. You don't have to answer that one.
That's a tough one.
you don't have to answer. It's a suspense. Go to the Discord group to find out.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Out of Discord, the link's in the description below. Go check it out. We have a fun time with the next generation of rail fanning. So make sure you check that out if you haven't already. But yeah, I'll answer that question on there if you're curious, Brian. So.
Well, all right. Well, Corey, again, thank you so much for coming on the live stream today. It was good times. Good times.
Mm-hmm.
And
Thank you so much.
And we'll see you around the roundhouse, all right?
Hey, I'll wait. I'll make sure to dodge that caboose wherever it is.
All right, don't let the caboose hit you on the way out.
See you, man.
See you later. Bye.
Bye-bye. That's cool, huh, George?
Yeah, it was. Really cool. You know, that was really cool. Good talk, that's for sure. It's probably our longest live stream.
Yeah, I know, but you guys were on fire.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
It's so cool. You know what? We've got young guys on here. We've got old guys on here all chatting about trains. That's the best. Yeah, I went from a low yesterday on our live stream where it was like the lowest of lows. It was the worst live stream. Yeah. I was all set to stop doing live streams. And then to see this with you guys and Corey.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Yeah. So, probably gonna strap things up. I gotta use the bathroom.
Yeah, well, we'll end on a high note here, guys. Thanks a lot for coming here.
Make sure to go check out Corey's live stream. So,
yep, Corey, check out his stream. We got the link in the description below. And again, we'll be on tomorrow, 3 p.m.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hope to see you all tomorrow.
See you around the roundhouse.
Don't let the caboose hit you on the way out.